po. So right now, I'm working for a bank. I'm an in-house counsel for a bank, particularly Philippine Savings Bank. Yan. And I'm also doing USANA part-time. Ayan. Hello, Sir Dennis. Oh, di ba? Dennis de la Peña. Hello. Nice to see you again. So, ayan. Right now, maybe baka nagtataka kayo bakit mo ginagawa ang ang USANA part-time kasi actually, well, let's face the truth, no, everyone. Right now, the Philippines is undergoing an economic crisis, bagsak ang ating ekonomiya, and everyone is at home. And so right now, naka-MECQ tayo. Although I'm still working for a bank, so syempre essential services ang bank, ongoing pa rin ang operations namin, pero yun nga, talagang kahit yung mga bank employees, talagang affected din ang ang work namin. And no, it doesn't hurt talaga to have an extra source of income. So, nung nakita ko tong USANA na grabe talaga yung opportunity, no? And I'm sure everyone or a lot of people here, that's the reason why you decided to do the business with USANA, di ba po? Kasi grabe po yung earnings dito is very exponential as shown to you, no, during your presentation. Ayan, so thank you everyone, no, for attending the new distributors orientation despite medyo gloomy ang weather natin, rainy Sunday, pero at least, di ba, thank God na we're still alive, we're still healthy, we're in our homes, we're with our families. Ayan. So, I guess, no, quick question lang to everyone, no, pakilagay na lang sa chat. I'm just curious, ano po yung mga profession nyo, anong ginagawa nyo ngayon, anong pinagkakaabalahan nyo ngayon? Sige, kaya pakilagay na lang po sa chat. So like me, I'm a registered nurse, I'm also a lawyer. Wow, engineer, pharmacist, di ba? BPO, manager, seafarer, wow, artista. ay, Doc Edu, grabe, artista talaga si Doc Edu. Wow, Zumba instructor, student, yes. Nakakatuwa, no, grabing diverse yung community natin dito sa USANA. Yes, unemployed. We also have a lot of unemployed business partners here, and actually they're doing good right now. O, diba? So, nakatulong pang unemployment kasi at least they're also earning. Kasi what we are doing here right now, it's a business. So, you can do it full-time, you can do it part-time. But the most important thing here is, you know what we do talaga, makikita nyo later during the NDO, no? Sobrang, ang ganda ng ginagawa natin is a real advocacy talaga because we help people in terms of their health and in terms of their finances. Ayan. Grabe, mga real estate, no, mga nurses. So, di ba napaka-diverse? And actually, share ko na lang din sa inyo na marami ding lawyers dito. And mga hindi lang basta-bastang lawyers, no, mga high-ranking government officials, and they're doing good talaga. We have gold directors, we have bronze directors, we have silver directors na lawyers dito. Kaya ako, personally, natutuwa ako, di ba, kahit lawyers ginagawa nito. And we also have doctors din. So, grabe, napaka-diverse ang community natin dito. And, ayun, actually, we're very lucky na ang pinaka magko-conduct ng NDO natin for today, ay, grabe siya. I'm very honored, no, and privileged na ako yung talagang na-invite, no, mag-introduce sa kanya. Kasi he's one of our very own mentors here in USANA. And nakaka-proud talaga kasi actually right now, he's the top, no, one-star executive diamond director here in USANA. Grabe. So for those na hindi nakaalam, no, ang one-star executive one-star diamond director, they're earning around 1 million pesos a month already. O, di ba? Gusto niyo ba 'yon, guys? Di ba? Tapos, di ba, ginagawa lang niya sana around 11 years pa lang. Pero he's di ba, he's doing good right now. And I'm one of the lucky people na talagang tinututukan niya din ako dito sa business ko. So ang background naman niya, he's actually a registered nurse just like me, and same pang pinag-graduate naming school, di ba, UST. And he's actually doing his full-time right now. He's one of our, $1 million club members. So when you say $1 million club member, nakapag-earn na siya ng $1 million or 50 million pesos here in USANA. Ayan, di ba? Gusto niyo ba yun, guys? So, di ba, kahit siya is a living testament on what you can be here in USANA, kung ano yung magiging future mo dito sa USANA. Yes. So, he's also, last year, he was hailed as one of the top, top income earners here in USANA. So, pang-fourth siya. So, grabe, hindi siya basta-basta. And naging multiple travel incentive qualifier na yan, yung si mentor natin. So, ayan, without further ado, no, I think he's ready na here. So, ito, very important to. And I want to congratulate everyone in advance for attending this training, because this training is one of the most important trainings here in USANA. It's our new distributors orientation training. So, Mentor Ryan himself, he will discuss with you kung ano tong pinasukan nating business, di ba? Anong maganda dito sa Usana? What should we do? Ano yung mga basics? So yun ang pinaka-important natin. In every single thing we do, we need to know the basics. We need to master the basics. And of course, ang syempre, I don't see any other person na pinaka-perfect na mag-introduce sa'yo, kundi si Mentor Ryan himself, no? One of our executive one-star diamond directors. So again, without further ado, let me introduce everyone, no? Let us all welcome our very own Mentor Ryan Tan. Hello, Mentor.
Hi, good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thanks, Attorney Steph, for agreeing to do the intro for me this morning. So, nakakatuwa kasi last Sunday, it was a lawyer who introduced me. Then today, sa NDO, it's another lawyer again. So, if you would see, like what Attorney Steph said kanina, here in Usana, we have so many people from all walks of life talaga doing the business. And kanina, when she was asking ano yung mga backgrounds nyo, I was really surprised na talagang ang dami ng career professionals who are really turning to business talaga to make money. Kasi dito sa Philippines, for the longest time, and I'm sure you guys are aware, kahit gaano ka kasipag, kahit gaano ka katsaga, kahit gaano katagal ka nang nag-work, it's really hard to prosper if you're really just gonna count on and hope for your promotion. So today, we're gonna have the new distributors orientation, and basically, this training is actually for everyone na less than 30 days old in the business. And specifically, this training was really designed for you guys. And what's this training all about? Just to make you understand better, let me share with you my background when I was starting in Usana 11 years ago. So, you heard that right, I've been doing this for the past 11 years already. And I remember when I joined Usana, nag-join na ako lahat-lahat. I was still 50-50 about it. So, in a way, I was excited na, grabe, wow, as young as 21 years old, I had my own business, which was Usana. But on the other hand, I was so frustrated. I was so clueless. Parang I always asked myself, kaya ko ba talaga gawin yung Usana? Did I really make the right decision of joining this type of business considering my personality and my training? So, to share with you, lalo na yung mga taong hindi pa ako kilala, ito yung itsura ko when I got invited to Usana. I was really a complete introvert. So, ano ako niyan? I was a fresh graduate of UST Nursing and kakapasa ko lang ng board exam. So, when I graduated from UST, imbis na matuwa ako na I already graduated, I was so pissed. I was so na bad trip talaga ako. Kasi hate na hate ko yung nursing. The only reason I took up nursing was because sabi ng mom ko, if you're a nursing graduate, it's easy daw to become a US citizen. Kaya lang, pagka-graduate ko ng UST Nursing, sumabay naman siya sa US recession. And we were told na it's still possible to go to the US, but instead of 6 months to get a work visa, wala na daw work visa muna kasi ang daming unemployed sa US. So they decided na if ever pupunta talaga kami doon, we're gonna have to line up for an immigrant visa. So ako naman, I never really thought of working as a nurse here. Pero sabi ko, kaysa naman wala akong gawin, tumunga nga. I tried applying once sa St. Luke's BGC only to find out na yung offer pala nila for nurses was only about it was only about 6,000 pesos a month. And ako, sobrang natigilan ako. Sabi ko talaga, totoo ba yan? 6,000 pesos a month? Sabi ko, if you're gonna make me work for that amount, lumalabas, that's 300 pesos a day. Sabi ko, yung commute ko, I live in Quezon City to BGC every day, parang 250 pesos. So sabi ko, if I'm gonna take on a job that pays 300 pesos a month, parang luging-lugi naman ako, 50 pesos na lang kikitain ko. Sabi ko, I'm not willing to work for that amount. Until one day, yung isang friend ko, ang kulit-kulit niya, sabi niya, Ryan, wala ka namang ginagawa, wala ka namang trabaho, ba't di ka mag-Usana? So ako naman, reluctantly, I went to their office, present sa akin yung Usana. When the products were explained to me, practically, nagustuhan ko naman yung products. Pero pagdating doon sa dulo, they were asking me to sign up sa business. Ako, sobrang na-turn off ako because they were asking me to fill up an application form, get a credit card, or mag-down payment na daw ako. And ako, ever since I was young, I'm really upfront with everybody I talk to. Sabi ko sa friend ko, if you're asking me to join this type of business, I'm really not interested. Sabi ko, number one, I'm really the shy type. Before Usana, never naman ako nagbenta ng kahit ano buong buhay ko. And sabi ko, growing up, I've always been a bookworm. So mahilig akong magbasa, mahilig akong magsulat. Sabi ko, maganda naman kung maganda yung vitamins nyo, pero if you're gonna make me sell your vitamins, sabi ko, it's really not my thing. Matyaga ako kung matyaga, pero that's not something I want to do. Secondly, sabi ko, wala naman akong kapera-pera. I came here as a fresh grad. Sabi ko, if you're asking me for like 30,000, 40,000, definitely I don't have the money. So, if you're asking me kung interesado ako mag-Usana, sabi ko, definitely not. So, that was the funny thing. Hindi ko nagustuhan yung Usana, but I ended up signing up. And it was because after the presentation, pinamit sa akin ng friend ko yung mentor niya. Yung mentor niya na yun, hindi ko naman kakilala. It was a very short conversation that I had with him. Pero yung short conversation na yun made me realize so many things. Tinanong lang niya ako, sabi niya, bakit ikaw, Ryan, personally ba, do you really see yourself working for the rest of your life? And ako, I was only 21 years old back then. And sobra akong napaisip kasi I never really thought of that question before. Would I really work for the rest of my life? And instinctively, no, I told him not really. Kasi deep inside, I felt, sabi ko 3 years nga lang na OJT. OJT pa lang yun, na burnout na ako. Sabi ko, my God, paano pa kaya yung magtrabaho from age 21 to 65? And I'm sure, no, all the people listening to me right now, if you already experienced working for 3 years, 5 years, siguro natiis mo siya up to this point. Pero imaginein mo, you're gonna have to do all of that, do that again and again hanggang tumanda ka, hanggang age 65, hanggang 70. Ngayon pa nga lang, nasisiraan ka na ng bait. So sabi ko, not really. I don't see myself working for the rest of my life. Then he asked me, sabi niya, Ryan, if you don't plan to work for the rest of your life, what do you intend to do? And ako, I really had no plan naman, being 21 years old. But I remember telling him, sabi ko siguro at some point, I'm gonna start my own business then. Sabi niya, Ryan, if you're gonna start your own business, what sort of business do you plan to get into? And ang sagot ko sa kanya, probably, siguro I could get into Jollibee franchising or real estate. And then, super na-offend ako sa kanya. Pinagtawanan niya ako, hindi naman kami close. Sabi niya, pambihira ka pala eh. May pa Jollibee real estate ka pa. Sabi niya, 40 mil nga lang, ang dami ko na daw sinabi. Sabi niya, paano pa daw yung Jollibee? Paano pa daw yung real estate? Mas malaki daw yung million daw yun. Then he told me, Ryan, if you don't have the guts to start a business for 40,000 pesos, how much more yung businesses na sinasabi mo that would cost you by the millions? And ako, I got his point naman. But what really got me to sign up sa Usana, although I didn't really like the idea, was the last thing he told me. Sabi niya, you know what, Ryan? Sabi mo na rin naman, magbi-business ka naman din pala eventually. Sabi niya, kung yun naman din pala yung end game mo, why do you have to wait till you're already 50, 60 before ka pa magnegosyo? Sabi niya, isn't it wiser? Isn't it better na habang bata ka, ma-overcome mo na yung pagiging mahiyain mo? Habang bata ka, matuto ka magbenta, magpatakbo ng sarili mong negosyo, humawak ng sarili mong tao. Why wait na matanda ka na't lahat-lahat before ka pa mag-take action? And after hearing that, parang oo nga naman, I thought, kaysa mag-aksaya ako ng oras magtrabaho for 6,000, 10,000 buwan-buwan, ba't nga naman hindi na lang ako magnegosyo? But anyway, no, to be honest with everybody, lalo na yung mga super bago sa Usana, ako, I'm really open about this. I actually joined Usana January 2009. More than a year after doing Usana, I really got so frustrated. Sobrang na-disappoint ako. Kasi after a year of doing the business, I was averaging 20,000, 30,000 per month. And I remember, back in my UST days, when I was still in college, yung baon ko every month was 6,000 pesos. Medyo galante yung nanay ko sa akin. And yung 6,000 pesos a month ko, 2004 ako pumasok ng UST. Nakakapag-Starbucks pa ako, nakakakain pa ako whatever I like. Sometimes nagkakayayaan pa kami ng Italianis. And I could afford that sort of lifestyle. And so when I was in college, I really had this thinking. I told myself, grabe no, if I start making 15,000, 20,000 pesos a month, sabi ko, ang yaman-yaman ko na siguro. Kasi sabi ko, yung 6,000 a month ko nung college, hindi ko siya nauubos talaga. Pero nagulat ako when I started making my own money. It really made me think, sabi ko, ba't ganun? Kumikita naman ako ng 30 mil. Kumikita naman ako ng 20 mil. Minsan 40 mil pa nga eh. Pero sabi ko, ba't ganun? Parang feeling ko wala akong pera. Or tipid-tipid. And that made me realize 10 years ago, I was only 22 years old. Sabi ko, number one, grabe no, parang tubig lang talaga yung pera sa Pilipinas. And again, for all the people who have been working, you know what I'm talking about. Di ba numerically, when you talk about grabe, 10,000, 15,000, one cut off. So numerically, it sounds big. Grabe, you have 15,000. Pero in real life, even if you had like 15,000 in your ATM, even in your wallet, yung 15,000 mo nga, hindi na yan tatagal ng 1 week. Hindi na nga yan naabot ng next sweldo mo. And you would realize, no, it's such a big puzzle here in the Philippines. But ganun? Sa Philippines, we have a bigger college literacy rate versus the United States. Mas marami tayong college graduates dito sa Pilipinas. Pero you would really wonder, ba't ganun yung mga Pilipino? College graduates naman, masipag naman, matyaga naman, in trabaho naman ang trabaho. And ilang taon na silang nagtatrabaho, pero makikita mo mga walang pera. Di ba? Nakakapagtaka talaga. Kasi for me, no, in all honesty, kung ikaw, drug addict ka, tambay ka lang sa bahay, tapos batugan kang tao, wala kang pera, it makes sense. Kasi tamad ka, kasi drug addict ka. Pero kung college grad ka, tapos trabaho ka naman ng trabaho, wala kang pera, di ba, it's really wrong. I mean, there's really something fundamentally wrong. And what I realized, no, in years of doing Usana, why does that phenomenon happen sa bansa natin? It's really because if you're Pinoy and you grew up with Filipino parents na hindi naman din negosyante, we really have this mindset. Mula pagkabata, we were always told by our parents, uy Ryan, aral ka ng mabuti, pag graduate mo, kuha ka ng diploma. Pag graduate mo, hanap ka ng trabaho. So tayo naman growing up, ganun po ba? Sige po, I'll study hard. Sige po, I'll get a diploma. I'll find a job. I'll work for somebody else. So ngayon, if you're Pinoy, you would never hear from your parents na, huy Ryan, trabaho ka ng trabaho, mag-resign ka nga dyan, magnegosyo ka. If you're Pinoy, you would never be encouraged by your parents to resign and start a business. It's very, very rare. Kaya kung titingnan mo sa Pilipinas, sino bang mayaman dito? Pilipino ba o Chinese? Di ba mga Chinese? Because ang mga Chinese, they were always trained, bata pa lang, hoy, aral kang mabuti, pag graduate mo, magsimula ka ng sarili mong negosyo. So that's why, if you're new to Usana, alam mo yung there's that ambivalence na tama ba, nag-join ako dito, kaya ko ba to? Parang hindi ko yata gamay to. And you're exactly right. Hindi ka naman talaga trained for this. Hindi mo naman talaga gamay ito. Because you were not really trained to do business. But it doesn't mean na you made the wrong decision being part of Usana or starting Usana as a business. It just means na nangangapa ka at this point. It just means na kailangan mo siyang aralin. But it doesn't mean na hindi mo to kaya. Anyway, ito, 2.5 years after doing Usana, that was the time na abot ko yung $1,000 per week. And natatawa ko, I would never forget this encounter. 2.5 years into Usana, I had a college reunion with my classmates from UST. Eh, matagal kaming hindi nagkita-kita. Siyempre, kamustahan, how's life, how's work. So, kwento naman sila sa akin. And most of them, they were asking me, Ryan, kumusta na yung Usana mo? And I remember noong 2011, they were asking more details. Kasi noong 2009, kinulit ko sila to join na ayaw nila. So noong 2011, I showed them my income. And duet silang lahat. Sabi nila, ay naku Ryan, tigil-tigilan mo na kami. Hindi kami kasing sipag mo. Hindi kami kasing tiyaga mo. Hindi kami para dyan sa business mo. Pero you know what I told them? Sabi ko, you know what guys? Between the two of us, I think mas masipag nga kayo sa akin. Mas matyaga nga kayo sa akin. Sabi ko, may pa-masters pa kayong nalalaman. 2 taon na rin kayo nagtatrabaho. Ang tatanda nyo na, mga wala naman kayong pera. Diba? And for me, yun talaga yung ultimate masipag. Yun talaga yung ultimate matyaga. Trabaho ng trabaho, tapos walang pera. Hindi naman yung mayaman. Diba? Sabi ko for me, it was really a struggle. First year ko sa Usana, parang medyo nasiraan ako ng bait, adjusting to this type of industry. Pero sabi ko at least after 2.5 years naman, kahit papano, I was rewarded handsomely by Usana. Diba? And ito, 7 years into the business, I got featured, my story was featured sa Business Mirror. Ito naman for good reason. Hindi naman ako pina-NBI. They were asking me, considering daw, wala akong alam in sales, wala daw akong background in business, how come daw I was able to succeed in this type of industry? Basically, ang sagot ko lang dito, sabi ko number one, I really don't believe in linya-linya. Marami kasing nag-join na ng Yusana lahat-lahat, hindi makagalaw. Because at the back of their minds, they always tell themselves, ay shucks, hindi ko talaga linya to, hindi ko talaga linya to, hindi ko linya to. But here's the thing, no? Before we even start this training, tandaan mo, wala naman talagang linya. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, hindi naman yan genetic. Wala naman yan sa DNA mo. It's just that, again, growing up, you were told, uy Ryan, maganda, mag-nurse ka. Doc Edu, maganda, mag-teacher ka. Uy Steph, maganda, mag-lawyer ka. So tayo, ganun po ba? Sige po, I'll pick up nursing. Sige po, I'll be an engineer. But at the end of the day, it's really because of social programming. So sabi ko, when I saw you sana, sobrang hindi ko siya type. Sobrang hindi ko siya nagustuhan. Pero ako ay ma-practical person. Sabi ko nga yung nursing, ayaw na ayaw ko. Naging nurse naman ako. Sabi ko yung Yusana, ayaw ko. Pero sabi ko at the end of the day, if this is how I could make good money, why not? 'Di ba? And just to give everybody an idea, ano ba yung caliber ng mga taong nag-Yusana? So ito, this is one couple talaga that I always make an example out of. The girl to my left, her name is Attorney Nol Castillo. Lawyer siya for the Supreme Court. So basically, she researches for yung mga Supreme Court decisions. And si Attorney Nol, actually, he's a very big shot lawyer sa Supreme Court. And itong husband naman niya, si Judge Earl Castillo, judge naman siya sa Pasig Metropolitan Trial Court. And I would never forget, the very first time I met them back in 2018, I immediately asked them, sabi ko, Attorney Nol, Judge Earl, considering ang ganda na ng careers niyo, you're very successful already, how come you're still in network marketing? And they told me, iba naman yung income as an employee. Sabi nila, even if successful ka as an employee, dapat meron ka ring business. Sabi niya, hindi ka naman forever masipag, hindi ka naman forever matyaga. So sabi nila, by the time they want to retire, magkano lang ba daw ang retirement sa government? So sila, even before they retire daw, they already want something that could match their income even before umabot sila ng 60. And sa loob-loob ko, grabe no? That's why yung mga taong successful, lalong nagiging successful. And natatawa ko minsan yung taong mahirap, yung taong palaging kapos sa pera, ito nga yung mga taong dapat mag-double time, mag-triple time, ito pa yung mga tamad. Ito pa yung mga kailangan mo pang pilitin. Itong dalawang taong to, as far as I know, kasi medyo aware ako sa mga salary grade ng mga government employees, mahilig lang ako magbasa-basa, individually, they're making at least 150,000 each sa careers nila. Pero makita mo kung magnegosyo sila, akala mo walang makain. But that's really precisely the reason. Bakit yung mga mayayaman, lalong yumayaman? Yung mga mahihirap, lalong naghihirap. Because yung mga mahihirap, walang-wala na nga, tamad pa. Diba? And ito, this is a picture that I really like showing because this was one of the group trainings we had before the lockdown. And lahat ng tao sa picture na yan, umabot sila ng gold director and up. When you say gold director, that's like $1,000 weekly. This guy to my left, his name is Gabe Dimapawi. He's a computer science graduate from UST. He's so smart, in-invite siya ng Harvard to present his thesis. So he actually flew to the States. Present niya yung thesis niya sa Harvard. Pagbalik niya ng Pilipinas, he worked for a startup company. After a year, sabi niya, ba't ganun? Wala pa rin akong pera. So nag-join siya ng Yusana at age 22. Right now, si Gabe, he's turning 25 this year. So he's been in the business for 2.5 years. But si Gabe, at 24 years old, hindi siya bumababa ng 100,000 pesos a week. Sabi ko, saan ka nakakita? 24-year-old, 100,000 pesos a week. Diba? And ito namang girl, third from the rightmost side, yung nakasilip, her name is Tita Aidy Gambol. Senior Vice President naman siya ng Banco de Oro. And right now, si Tita Aidy, she's been with us for the past 6 or 7 years. And right now, Tita Aidy is also a gold director. And ito June 5, 2020, let me share with you, ito, income during pandemic. Ito, I'm not showing this to brag or anything, no? Pero it just really amazes me because I remember clearly the last time nag-reunion kami ng college friends ko, most of them, they were telling me, ano na sila, senior nurses, charge nurses. So when you say charge nurse ka, sa isang pinakabuong ward, ikaw na yung pinaka-head nurse. And then sabi ko, kapag ganyan, magkano na ang salary dito sa Pilipinas? Sabi nila, Ryan, around 30,000 pesos a month. And hindi na lang ako nag-comment so as not to offend anyone. Pero sabi ko, grabe, 30,000 a month? In 1 year, that's 360,000. Sabi ko, grabe, yung isang taon nila, isang linggo lang pala dito sa Yusana. Di ba? And they have the gall to tell me na masipag ako, matyaga ako. So sabi ko, grabe, yung trabaho nila ng isang taon, quota na ako ng isang linggo. Di ba? And the reason being, ba't ganun kalaki yung disparity? Ang layo naman talaga ng income, ng negosyo versus empleyado. Diba? So right now, if you really want to break through financially, you should really push yourself to succeed in business. Hindi ka pwedeng try-try lang dito. Anyway, no, one of my biggest frustrations, lalo na when I meet new people in Yusana, sila, they're very passive, lalo na ang Pilipino. They would always say, okay lang naman, kahit hindi ako mag-succeed sa Yusana, tatry ko, pero pag walang nangyari, anyway, balik trabaho naman na. Anyway, why is that mindset so wrong? Kung makikita niyo yung mga Pilipino, matyaga, masipag, pero hindi nagiging successful. It's because they're very passive, they're very reactive. Di ba yung mga iba, happy-happy na sila kasi nag-GCQ na tayo? O what happened? Nag-MECQ naman tayo ulit. Merong isa sabi niya, anyway, for 2 weeks lang naman. Talaga? Sure ka? 2 weeks lang? Talaga? With the number of cases every day? You think after 2 weeks, GCQ na? And kahit mag-GCQ pa tayo, who's to say na hindi tayo mag-ECQ ulit? Diba? And right now, lalo na if you're employed, marami kasi, they're very complacent. They always tell me, anyway, I still got to keep my job. May trabaho pa naman ako mentor. Pero here's the thing, who's to say na may trabaho ka pa next month? Who's to say na yung company mo tatagal hanggang 2 months from now, 3 months from now? Even San Miguel Corporation nga, even Jollibee Corporation, nagsasara-sara na nga sila. And the scary thing about losing your job right now, kung titingnan mo, no, grabe yung unemployment rate natin. This came from the Philippine Statistics Authority. Tingnan nyo, gano'ng karami yung unemployed as of April 2020? 7.3. Year prior, same month, 2.3. So there are 5 million more Filipinos unemployed because of this pandemic as of April 2020. Pero lumipas na ang May, June, July. Sabi nila ang true unemployment rate natin right now, it's somewhere between mga 12 to 14 million Filipinos. And the scary thing about losing your job right now, pag natanggal ka sa trabaho, it's not as if makaka-apply ka ulit next week, next month. Sabi nila, pag natanggal ka sa trabaho, malamang sa malamang, baka next year ka na makahanap ulit ng new employer mo. Diba? Kasi for every job vacancy right now, mas maraming mas qualified sa'yo. Mas maraming may experience sa'yo. Who's willing to take on the same job for a lesser salary. Diba? Ito yung tanong, paano kung hindi ka naman mayaman? Paano kung wala ka namang ipon? Paano kung breadwinner ka, tapos mawalan ka ng trabaho? As far as I know, wala na tayong social amelioration program. Yung pag nawalan ka ng trabaho, meron kang 8,000 isang buwan from the government. Alam ko, wala na yun ngayon eh. So what will you do? Diba? And sabi nga nila, in times of economic crisis like that, it's better to just start your own business na lang, be your own boss, rather than rely on somebody else, rely on your boss, whether or not may makakain ka pa. And this was realized during the time of Gloria Arroyo noong 2007. Sobrang tumaas yung unemployment rate natin, pero immediately, dumami yung self-employed sa Pilipinas. And these people, most of them, they never went back to employment. Kasi sabi nila, mas masarap pala yung kumita talaga ng sarili mong income based sa negosyo rather than utos-utusan ka maghapon tapos magkano lang naman yung ibabayad sa'yo. And right now, if you would look around you, that's what's happening. Yung mga taong ayaw mag-business-business before, ayaw magbenta-benta before, mag-browse ka nga lang ng Facebook, parang 5 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 ng mga kaibigan mo nagbebenta-benta ng kung ano-ano. Kasi no choice. Diba? And that's precisely what you did by signing up in this business. But anyway, let me share this with you. I watched one episode of Go Negosyo. So this is an episode I would never forget. So in this panel discussion, nag-usap-usap dyan, 5 owners ng restaurant. So nandiyan yung owner ng Mercato, KFC Guam, Pinoy pala yung franchisee doon, Buffalo Wings and Things, and Zark's Burger. So they were exchanging notes. This was during the ECQ. They were exchanging notes. Sabi nila, how did you remain profitable considering wala nang walk-in customers, bawal na ang dine-in? 4 out of 5 said, actually hindi namin alam, till now abonado pa kami, till now hindi kami kumikita talaga sa totoo lang. But 1 person out of 5 gave a different answer. He's the owner of Zark's Burger. Nagulat yung 4. Sabi, what did you do? Paano ka naging profitable? Sabi niya, ayaw naman daw niya mag-lay off ng mga tao niya. Kasi parang napaka-heartless naman. Pag ni-lay off mo, isang siya mag-a-apply? Yung waiter, yung guard, nagsasara nga yung iba. But at the same time, sabi niya, hindi naman ako mayaman. So sabi niya, I needed to make profit. So what he did, he taught all his employees, from the security guard to janitor, to the waiter, to the CPA, and chef. Sabi niya, sige nga, mag-promote nga kayo ng Zark's Burger online. Every time somebody buys, I'll give you a commission. So they did that. And nagulat sila, nag-boom yung sales nila. And sabi niya, grabe, I never really thought na ganun pala kalaki ang potential ng online. And sabi niya, in effect, parang lumaki daw yung sales network nila. Para daw sila naging direct selling, dumami daw yung taga-benta niya online. And sabi niya, para silang naging network marketing in essence. And ang second strategy nila, they're gonna come up with a website where people can order and pay online. And they're gonna tie up with a logistics partner para every time people order online, diretso deliver na lang. But when I heard that, natawa ako. Sabi ko, that's precisely the business model of Usana. Diba? Mag-recruit ka ng tao under you, magbibenta-benta sila under you, may commission sila, may commission ka din. So every time people buy online from the warehouse of Usana, i-dispatch siya through our logistics partners. Sabi ko, nakakatawa, even traditional businesses, they're copying the business model of Usana. Diba? And right now, nakakatawa ka naman. If till now, you're having second thoughts about this, you're not sure kung siseryosohin mo sa Usana. Traditional business nga, kinukopya sa Usana. They're gravitating towards the business model of Usana. And ikaw, you're still not sure kung gagawin mo to. You're still not sure kung type mo yung business na to. And anyway, just to underscore, gano'ng ka-drastic ang shift to online. Akala ko dati malala na yung nakakabili na ng kamatis, ng itlog online. Pero ito, this is the unforgettable example. Sabi ko, grabe, pati ba naman columbarium? Diba kung saan nilalagay yung abo pag namatay ka? Even that, you can buy on Facebook. Diba? So kung ikaw, you're still awkward, I want to make money online, pero hindi talaga ako sanay online eh. But that's a funny thing to say kasi lahat nga ng negosyo ngayon online na tapos ikaw ayaw mo pa. Gusto mo traditional business, yung mga brick and mortar stores, isa-isa na nga nagsasara. Diba? And ito kung titingnan mo nga even yung Zoom, this very application that we're using right now, ang Zoom kung titingnan mo yung valuation niya, sobrang mahal na ng valuation ng Zoom. It's a very, very highly valued company, kaya nang bilhin ng Zoom. Yung top 7 airlines in the world combined. And if you would think para saan ba ang Zoom? This is for business, mga kung ano-anong meeting. And just imagine how many businesses have shifted to online operations. Diba? So sabi nga nila, it's either mag-adapt ka or definitely mapag-iiwanan ka talaga. And precisely, nag-join ka na dito, why are you even thinking of not taking this seriously? In anyway, probably till now, iniisip mo, hindi ko siya linya. Anyway, ito, to underscore, again, pag sinabi mong gold director, it means you already made like $1,000 weekly. Itong dalawang nasa taas, they've been in Usana for more than a year. Si Jean Pe, she's actually a nurse a nurse working for Google dito sa Philippines. And sabi ni Jean Pe, lahat daw ng mga batchmates niya, bilib na bilib sa kanya, wow, Jean, Google nurse. And siya, natatawa siya deep inside. Kung alam lang daw nila magkano yung sweldo niya, iniisip niya, mawawaw pa ba kaya yung mga taong to? Parang Google nga, pero magkano lang ba yung sweldo? Ito namang si Ian De La Cruz, civil engineer siya. Parehas silang walang background in sales, walang background in network marketing. So if you're thinking, hindi ko linya yan, sila naman din, hindi naman nila linya to. And yet, umabot sila dito ng $1,000 a week. Ito namang tatlong lalaki na nasa baba, si Clive, Joseph, Renzo. What's so amazing about the three of them? They joined Usana 5 months ago. In 5 months, umabot sila ng 200,000 a month. O si Clive, Clive and Joseph, they're civil engineers. Si Renzo, he's a professional basketball player. O just the same, just like you, wala naman silang alam sa sales. But umabot sila ng gold director in like 5 months time. Diba? So it means it's perfectly doable. Oh, in terms of ano naman, sobrang bago. Itong si Aldrich Kaga, he's a mechanical engineer from UP. Itong income na to, second month na niya sa Usana. Second month. First month niya, he made 30,000. Second month niya, he made another 30,000. Part-time. Part-time. Sabi ko, grabe. Part-time niya, 30,000. Eh, yung ibang tao nga, even full-time income nila, hindi umaabot ng 30,000. And just imagine, no, if you're making a full-time salary, and you're doing Usana part-time, tapos may 30,000 ka extra income buwan-buwan, that's not too bad. So another amazing example, itong si Abby Carion, she joined Usana exactly 4 weeks ago. First 4 weeks niya sa Usana, umabot siya ng 30,000. 30,000. O si Abby, what does she do? She's a teacher. Teacher from Isabela. O wala namang alam sa sales yan. Wala namang alam sa network marketing yan. O bakit nila nagawa yan? Because there are trainings like this. Anyway, no, ito yung example talaga that really blew my mind. Last May 1, nakita ko lang to sa Usana Canada Associate page. This distributor account, si Vincent Mabel, couple sila, plus their son, Adrian Chan, they were awarded as the $13 million club, new $13 million club members of Usana. And when I saw that, sobra akong napaisip. Sabi ko, grabe, $13 million? $13 million, if you're gonna compute that, that's 650 million pesos. Net income. Net, that's $500 million pesos that they earned through Usana. And as far as I know, no, they've been in Usana for 17 years. And ang maganda sa Usana, pag sinabing income, net siya. Hindi naman sila yung nagbayad ng warehouse ng Usana. Hindi naman sila yung nagbayad ng air shipment from US to Canada ng vitamins. Lahat ng kinita nila dito, neto. Sometimes kasi, no, it sounds more prestigious, more wow if you tell your friends na, uy, I opened my own barbershop, I opened my own grocery, I opened my own mineral water station. And sila, wow, grabe, congrats ha, you have your own business. Eh ngayon, if you tell your friends you opened a Usana distributorship, sila, their reaction is, ano ba yan? Ba't ka sumali dyan? Pero for me, no, ito, kwento ko lang sa inyo, 2 months ago, I presented to a good friend of mine. He's a business person. And yung strategy ko sa kanya, tinatakot ko siya. Sabi ko, maganda mag-Usana ka para kahit mag-ECQ tayo ulit, safe ka, meron kang another source of income. And after hearing that from me, na-offend siya sa akin. Sabi niya, you know what, Ryan, kahit naman mag-ECQ ulit, I'm gonna be okay. And tinanong ko siya, sabi ko, sorry, I forgot to ask, ano na nga bang line of business mo? Sabi niya, mineral water station. And then, pahabol niya, actually sa business ko, nagpa 5,000 a day naman ako. And ako, nung narinig ko yung 5,000 a day, sabi ko, 5,000? That's 150,000 pesos a month. Malaki nga naman yun. Pero tinanong ko siya, sabi ko, teka, yung 5,000 a day mo ba, is that gross or net income? Sabi niya, gross. Sabi ko, magkano yung take home mo after mo i-minus yung renta, yung pasweldo, yung loan mo? Sabi niya, mga 700 to 1,000 pesos a day. Yan ba compute ako? Sabi ko 700 to 1,000. Eh 20 mil lang kaya yun. 30 mil lang kaya yun, buwan-buwan. Sa loob-loob ko, hindi ko na lang din sinabi sa kanya. Sabi ko kung 20 mil, 30 mil, sana nag-call center ka na lang. Hindi ka pa namuhunan ng 850,000 pesos. Diba? So, at the end of the day kasi, if you're really gonna think, no, kung gagamitin mo yung utak mo, ano bang point ng business? Is it really to impress other people? Or is it to make money? Kasi kung ang habol mo is kumita ng limpak-limpak na pera, malaking net income, definitely mag-Usana ka. Huwag kang mag-traditional business. Di ba? And sabi ko, even if kumpara mo pa to sa Jollibee, a good Jollibee franchise, yung sobrang malakas, makes about net income, 300,000 per month. O wow naman yun, 300,000 a month. O times 1 year, that's 3.6 million every year. 36 million every 10 years, 72 million every 20 years. 72 million, 20 years. Mas malaki pa rin ang Yusana. Itong couple na to, 650 million eh. Yung iba they would tell me, mas maganda pa rin yung Jollibee for me kasi yung Jollibee hindi ko aasikasuhin. Unlike Yusana. But then again, may 45 million ka ba to franchise? Kasi salita ka ng salita, 40,000 nga lang, ang dami mo nang sinabi. 'Di ba? So, 'di ba? Be real naman kahit papano. So, ngayon let's start this new distributors orientation. So what would we cover this morning? So medyo maaga tayo, but I really want you guys to pay attention because we're gonna cover practically all the concerns that you have about this business. So I'm sure maraming nag-join sa inyo, you did not understand a thing. Paano na nga ba yung $100 na sinasabi nila? Babalik ba talaga yung pera ko dito? Paano na nga ba kumita sa'yo sana? And most importantly, paano na nga bang gagawin ko? Hindi ko alam eh. Wala talaga akong naintindihan. So we're gonna cover everything this morning. So I really want you guys to really pay full attention kasi for me, pag naintindihan mo yung training natin today, it's gonna be very easy. It's gonna be relatively easier for you na gawin tong business na to kasi naiintindihan mo siya ng mabuti. So first things first, let's start with this quote. And this came from a man named Richard Branson. Si Richard Branson, he's very famous for saying this. Sabi niya, if somebody offers you an opportunity but you're not sure kung kaya mo siyang gawin, umuo ka na lang muna, then learn how to do it later. So si Richard Branson, if you don't know him, just to give you an idea, he's actually a tech billionaire. When I say billionaire, hindi siya Manny Villar level. He's actually richer than Manny Villar. Kasi si Manny Villar, peso billionaire. Itong guy na to, he's actually a euro billionaire. So he's encouraging people na grab mo lahat ng opportunities na makita mo, aralin mo na lang afterwards. And practically, that's what you guys did. I'm sure after seeing Yusana, you also had your reservations, but just the same, you went for it. And right now, inaaral mo na siya. And let's start with this, this morning. Marami akong nami-meet sa Yusana, and one reason that I noticed why they don't take this business seriously, because they're arrogant and they're very complacent. Kasi I understand, hindi naman lahat ng nag-Yusana mahirap. Hindi naman lahat ng nag-Yusana desperado. There are those na actually, upper middle class. Yung with or without Yusana, nakakapag-ipon naman sila. But let me address that this morning, Ang Pilipino kasi, sa totoo lang, we really have a wrong concept about saving money. And what do I mean by having that wrong concept? We grew up with our parents telling us, uy Ryan, ipon-ipon ka. Pag nakaipon ka, bili kang bahay. Ipon-ipon ka ulit. Pag nakaipon ka, bili ka ng kotse. But here's the thing, let's compute. Ano ba talaga yung sinasabi nilang ipon-ipon? Let's assume na ikaw yung maangas na whether or not may Yusana mentor, hindi naman ako gutom. Actually, I have money. Nakakapag-save naman ako. O let's give you that. Sabihin natin you're able to save like 10,000 pesos a month. How much is 10,000 pesos a month? In 1 year, that's just 120,000. 120,000 guys is not really big. In 10 years, that's 1.2 million. In 20 years, that's 2.4 million. What's 2.4 million 20 years from now? The last time I saw an ad sa Camellia Homes, yung isang bahay nila nakaliit-liit, 60 square meters, is already 4.5 million now. 20 years from now, ang pera mo lang is 2.4 million. Kung nakakapag-save ka ng 10,000 a month right now, kung hindi, even 20 years from now, wala ka pa rin 2.4 million. Di ba? Yung sinasabi nga nila, yung 4.5 million house na sinasabi right now, malamang sa malamang 20 years from now, that's gonna be like what? 20 million? 30 million? And you don't believe me? Sabi nga nila, magtanong-tanong ka ng property prices sa Makati. A good-sized condominium in Makati 20 years ago, sabi nila mga 2 million, 3 million pesos. But right now, ang kaliit-liit na one-bedroom unit sa Makati is already like 8 to 9 million pesos. Yung talagang matino, mga nasa 12 to 14 million pesos, one bedroom. Di ba? And I remember, I would never forget this encounter, I presented Yusana to the assistant branch manager of BPI sa Makati. And after showing him the 10,000 computation, sobrang na-offend siya. Sabi niya, excuse me Ryan, masyado daw akong condescending. Sabi niya, I actually save more than that. And medyo na-offend siya kasi medyo maangas. Kakagraduate lang niya ng Ateneo MBA. And sabi niya, actually, I saved double. And nung kinumpute ko, ano ba yung double na sinasabi niya? Yung double na sinasabi niya, that's just 4.8 million in 20 years. 4.8 million, anong mabibili mo in 20 years? Kahit right now, you're listening to me, para sa mga 20-year-olds right now, if you're talking 20 years time, hindi ka na bata nun. If you're 25 right now, in 20 years time, you're gonna be 45 already. In what's 4.8 million by the time you're 45? Napakawalang kwenta niyan. Di ba? Even 40,000 savings a month. And at the end of the day, di ba? Ang question, how old will you be? In yung savings mo ba, by then, is it really enough to really live the life that you want? And as I was saying kanina, dito, sobrang nakakaiyak dito sa Pilipinas, no? Ito yung bahay na sinasabi ko, 5 million pesos. And kung titingnan mo, this is in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. So, promo price pa pala to. O July 31. O hindi na sa promo ngayon. O baka ngayon, 6 million na yan. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, 6 million, yan pa lang yung bahay na mabibili mo. Is that your dream house? Hindi nga yata kayong magkakasya dyan ng pamilya mo. Diba? O ito, sample ng kotse, Picanto. Diba? Ang kaliit-liit ng Picanto, magkano yan? O yung cheapest is already 635,000. Ini 10,000 nga ngayon, wala ka. Diba? So how could you really ever buy a house and a car if you're really just an employee? Diba? Pwede siguro, grabing tipid-tipid. But at the end of the day, I'm sure that's not your dream house. That's not your dream car. Diba? But that's what's gonna happen to you if you really don't plan financially. And ngayon, ito, we really made it visual. Lalo na for everybody. Kasi maraming nag-join sa USANA, mga graduate ng UP, Lasal, Ateneo. And sila, they're smug. Whether USANA clicks or not, actually, I have a good career ahead of me. Kasi first job ko pa nga lang, ang laki na ng sweldo ko. O sige, let's give you that. Sabihin natin, sobrang bibo mo, sobrang talino mo. First job mo, sabihin na natin, 25,000 every month. Ngayon, how big is 25,000 sa totoo lang? 25,000 kung titingnan mo, hindi naman yan net income. Ang dami mong binabayaran. Food, internet bill, water bill, electricity bill, rent, grocery. That's why you would realize, ba't ganun? Kumikita ka naman ng 25,000 pero wala kang pera. O that's the reason. Yung 25,000 mo, hindi naman yan net income. O ngayon, again, kapag yung mga kaibigan mo na naman, magulang mo na naman, their employee mindset, what would they tell you? Ay, okay lang yan anak. Okay lang yan bro. Anyway, ano naman mapopromote ka naman. Anyway, ang important, may experience ka. O ngayon, how ridiculous is that? They're only telling you half of the story. Totoo naman. Pag nagtiis-tiis ka, mapopromote ka naman talaga. Masa-salary increase ka naman talaga. But what they're not telling you is this. Pag tumaas yung salary mo, tataas din ang expenses mo. So makikita mo, when you're young, wala ka naman masyadong binabayaran. But as you get older, ang dami mo ng responsibilities. That's why for the people na 30 years old, 40 years old, listening to me right now, di ba magtataka ka? Bakit dati nung bata ka, 20,000, parang wala kang pera? 20,000 a month yung sweldo mo. Ngayon, kahit 60,000, 80 mil na yung sweldo mo, parang feeling mo, wala ka pa rin pera. It's because of this. Ang dami mo na talagang binabayaran. And sabi nila right now, no, tayo yung generation na super kawawa. Tayo daw talaga yung generation na iiyak ka na lang. Bakit? Kasi we're referred to as the sandwich generation. Sandwich generation. When we say sandwich generation, if you would come to think about it, no, yung lolo ng lolo natin, yung mga kalololohan natin, when they grew old, when they retired, when they got sick, actually they were able to prepare well. When they died, wala naman silang utang na iniwan. May mga pinamana pa nga silang properties, pera. Pero right now, kung titingnan mo, yung mga 50, 60-year-olds right now, medyo wala silang plano. And by the time, alam mo yon, they pass away, parang wala naman na silang ipapamana masyado sa next generation. And here's the problem. If you're young right now, probably you don't have much responsibilities. Pero 15 to 20 years from now, by the time yung parents mo alagain na, by the time they need to be brought to the hospital, kailangan mo bilhan ng medisina, You cannot just play dumb and say, sorry po, wala po akong pera. Bahala na po kayo, punta kayo sa hospital mag-isa. Would you tell your parents that? Siyempre hindi. 'Di ba? And right now, kung titingnan mo, you have to take care of your parents financially, physically, while at the same time, you're gonna have to raise your kids also. You're gonna have to send them to college. So, magkano ang college tuition ngayon? Tapos bibili ka pa ng bahay, bibili ka pa ng kotse. Gusto mo pang mangarap mag-travel-travel. Eh how could you do all those things kung ang sweldo mo ngayon is 40 mil lang, 50 mil lang? Eh ngayon nga lang, hindi pa magkasya yung pera mo. 'Di ba? So nasa sandwich ka. You need to take care of the older generation while at the same time, kailangan mo i-raise yung sarili mong family. Good luck na lang, masisiraan ka talaga ng ulo. 'Di ba? In the bigger tragedy there, apart from not having money, imagine mo magkano yung ininvest sa'yo ng mga magulang mo para kumita ng pagkaliit-liit na sweldo. 'Di ba? And it doesn't end there. Even if graduate ka ng good university, 'di ba? Kailangan ano pa eh. Yung performance mo 100% ka lagi, super bibo kid ka. Kahit masama sa loob mo mag-overtime, you have to do overtime. If you want to get promoted, ngayon labanan ng mga kung ano-anong certificate courses, mga masteral. Nung time ng parents natin, 'di ba? Bakit ang dali ng buhay dati? Dati basta loyal ka, basta matagal ka na sa company, promoted ka na kaagad. Loyal ka naman matagal ka naman na dito. Pero right now, even if you've been working for a company so long, dito titingnan nila ano bang credentials mo. Dati, if you already have an MBA sa UP, okay na yun. Pero right now, kung may MBA ka sa UP, so what? Yung kalaban mo may MBA sa Singapore. Ngayon may MBA ka sa Singapore, so what? Yung kalaban mo may masteral sa United States. May masteral ka sa US, yung kalaban mo may masteral sa London. And at the end of the day, it's so ridiculous how people spend so much money and effort getting an MBA, mga graduate degree programs. But at the end of the day, magkano ba yung salary increase? Million-million ba yan? Hundreds of thousands ba yan? Hindi nga eh. 5,000 nga lang yata, 10,000 nga lang yata yung pinaglalabanan nyo. Diba? And yet you have to go through all that hassle. And I would never forget one training I attended sa USANA. I was less than 6 months old. And yung training na yun really had an impact on me. Kasi yung nag-train, pastor siya. Pastor, pero it was a business training. And nagkataon, nakaupo ako sa harap. Ako yung ginawa niyang example. In-interview niya ako. Sabi niya, ikaw ba Ryan, payag ka? Putulin natin yung smallest finger mo. Yung pinky finger ko daw, putulin daw niya. Bayaran daw niya ako 50 mil. And of course, immediately I answered, syempre hindi. Sabi niya, sige, doblehin natin. Putulin daw niya yung finger ko, 200,000 daw. Payag ba daw ako? Sabi ko, syempre hindi. Sabi niya, last offer, issuehan daw niya ako ng cheque in front of everybody. Putulin daw niya yung smallest finger ko. Bayaran daw niya ako 1,000,000. Payag ba daw ako? And I said, of course not. Part to ng body ko eh. This is part of my being. Sabi niya, Ryan, that's precisely the point. Hindi mo nga ibibenta yung daliri mo ng 1,000,000. Pero yung mga tao, binibenta nila yung buong buhay nila, buong pagkatao nila, sa parang magkano buwan-buwan. Di ba? Hindi mo bibenta yung daliri mo, pero yung buong sarili mo, binenta mo ng 20 mil isang buwan, 30 mil isang buwan. Diba? And yung iba, they would tell me, mentor, OA ka naman, hindi naman buong pagkatao. Hindi, for me, buong pagkatao. Diba, there are 7 days in a week. Monday to Friday, you have to go to work kahit ayaw mo. O pag uwi mo ng work, hindi ka naman happy-happy. Hindi ka naman namamasyal. Kasi after work, you have to rest, have dinner, sleep early because the following day, you have to go back to work. O on Saturday, you have to do your errands, magmumall ka ng konti. Sunday, magsisimba ka. Pwedeng mamasyal ng konti but not too much kasi may pasok ka pa ulit the following day. Oh, that's your 7 days in 1 week. And you have to do that from age 21 to 65. O ngayon, 21 to 65, that's 40 years. What did you do ng 0 to 20? Di ba you went to kinder, prep, college to prepare you for a job? Ngayon sasabihin nila, pag nag-retire naman ako, happy-happy naman. Talaga? Happy-happy ka at age 66? Mamamasyal ka, magpa-party-party ka at age 66? Paano pag nag-retire ka ng age 66, ang retirement pay mo 500,000 lang? 1 million lang. Siguro mabibili mo hollow block, panggawa ng bahay mo. So at the end of the day, you're selling yourself for how much? Bakit? Kasi yan yung sinabi sa'yo ng pamilya mong gawin mo. Diba right now, if you would tell your family na nag-join ka ng USANA, they'll find your decision weird. Talaga? Ba't ka nag-invest dyan? Sumali-sali ka dyan? Ba't ka naman nag-business ng ganyan? Magtrabaho ka na lang, walang mangyayari sa'yo dyan. O why do they have that comment about your decision? It's because the people around you have an employee's mindset. Diba? So, ngayon, ano naman yung brilliant idea ng mga kaibigan mo in pamilya mo para sa'yo? Kapag nakita nila na parang hindi ka naman umaasenso dito, the next thing that you would hear from them, dahan-dahan to, uy Ryan, mag-Saudi ka kaya? Mag-US ka kaya? Mag-OFW ka na lang kaya? Mas malaki daw sweldo doon eh. O again, ikaw na naman si Uto-Uto, ganun po ba? Sige po, ayusin ko po yung papers ko, I'll apply abroad. 'Di ba? So wala ka mang sariling utak. 'Di ba? Buong buhay mo na lang, you based it on other people's opinion. And ito yung problem. When you go abroad, it's really true, you make a higher income. But what they're not telling you again, malaki nga yung income, pero ang dami naman din expenses entailed. 'Di ba, magbabayad ka ng placement fee, multiple exams, and lalo na when you go to Western countries, malaki nga ang sweldo mo, pero yung tax mo is 35%. 'Di ba, yung cost of living mo, magkano? And ako, I would never forget din, yung mentor ko sa'yo sana, si Mentor Natsunyo, in one of his trainings, sabi niya, you know what guys, ang pamilya, hindi naman yan dinesign ni Lord para magkita-kita once a year, once every 2 years. Ang pamilya, dinesign daw yan ni Lord para magkakasama, to grow old together, to have shared experiences together. Sabi niya, that's the ideal thing. Pero how could that be an option for most Filipinos kung ang sweldo dito 15,000, 20,000, tapos may 2 anak ka? Wala talaga. You would really have to go abroad. 'Di ba? Pero yun yung malungkot. Malaki nga yung kita mo, para ka namang zombie. Tiis-tiis, homesick ka, para lang may mapadala kang pera sa Pilipinas. Tapos uuwi ka dito, magkano lang ba naipon mo in 1 year? 100,000, 200,000, bili kang TV, bili kang ref, ubus na naman yung pera mo. And by the time gusto mo umuwi here permanently, kahit sabihin mong may 1,000,000 ka as an OFW pag uwi mo dito, ibili ka nga lang ng Kia Picanto, 600,000 na. Bili ka lang ng bahay, ang liit-liit. 1,000,000, kulang yung pera mo, you have to go back abroad. So that's why ang OFW, pagbalik dito, bakasyon, galante. Pero after a month, uwing uwing-uwi na yan sa trabaho nila abroad. 'Di ba? And talaga, is that really the existence that you want for yourself? And I would never forget also, a good friend of mine, from UST days pa, close friend ko to, kinulit ko siya mag-USANA 2 years ago, and she almost joined. Nag-fill up siya ng application form, and last minute, she told me, Ryan, wag na lang muna. Natatakot daw siya, baka daw hindi bumalik yung pera niya. Yung 40,000 daw na ipang-join niya sa USANA, 2 years daw niya inipon yun, baka daw hindi bumalik. So kami naman, kaysa magkasamaan ng loob, sabi ko, sige, it's really up to you. It's your prerogative. After a year, nakita ko on Facebook, nag-post siya. Traveling from Naiya to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So sabi ko, uy, anong meron? Vacation ba yan? Pero sa loob ko, ba't ka naman mag-vacation sa Saudi? Sabi ko, vacation ba yan? Sabi niya, hindi, work. Sabi ko, okay. Paano ka nag-apply dyan? Nagbayad daw siya 180,000 for a placement fee. So sabi ko, gano'ng katagal yung contract mo? 2 years daw. So sabi ko, sinong kasama mo? Kasi usually pag umaalis yung mga classmates ko, sama-sama sila eh. Sabi niya, siya lang daw mag-isa. May sa loob-loob ko talaga, mag-join ng USANA, 40,000, risky. Magbayad ng 180,000 pesos sa agency, hindi yan risky. Pumunta ng Saudi Arabia, ang layo-layo mo, 2 years, wala kang kasama, babae siya. Kababae mong tao, ikaw lang mag-isa. Diba sa Saudi kung ano-anong nangyayari sa mga tao doon? Diba? And you would see how twisted ang utak ng Pilipino. 40,000 negosyo, risky. 180,000 magtrabaho mag-isa sa Middle East. Wala, hindi yun risky sa kanila. And that's really weird. Diba? And yung iba naman, we would always argue, yeah, mentor, get your point, business. Pero ayoko talaga ng USANA, baduy, jologs. O here's the thing, o sa pagbigyan ka na namin, traditional business ka dyan. But here's the thing about traditional business. Traditional businesses, they're more capital intensive than Usana. O 40 mil nga lang, ang dami mo nang sinabi. O restaurant, 2 milyon. But why would you even open a restaurant now? Eh, mga restaurants nga ngayon nasisiraan ng bayet to stay open. Coffee shop, 600,000. And here's the thing, no? Pag naglabas ka ng 2 million for a restaurant, hindi naman yan babalik in 1 week. Hindi naman yan babalik in 1 month. But inyo sana atat na atat ka. 1 week na, hindi pa bumabalik yung pera ko. 2 weeks na, hindi pa bumabalik yung pera ko. Uy, 40 mil lang yan. 'Di ba? Pag naglabas ka ng 2 million for a restaurant, baka nga after 2 years, 3 years, hindi ka pa rin ROI. So why are you so adamant about ROI? Yung Usana naman, it's really true. In 1 week, pwede mong mabalik yung buong 40 mil mo. Attend kang retail training. But tandaan mo, in traditional businesses, it's even harder. Eh ngayon yung iba, sasabihin nila, ako gusto kong mag-business, pero gusto ko yung medyo passive lang, yung walang masyadong gagawin. Like what? O like an apartment. O that's correct. If you have an apartment complex, kukolekt ka lang, renta, buwan-buwan. O here's the thing, pagpalagay natin, meron kang 15 million pesos. O 15 million pesos, patayo ka ng 3-door apartment. Ang 3-door apartment na 15 million, katsipan yan. Hindi yan high-end apartment. Malamang sa malamang, pag yan ang pinatayo mo, ang renta niyan, mga 20 mil isang buwan. Times 3, 60,000. Times 12 months, that's 700,000. Times 10 years, that's 7 million. 20 years, 14 million. Eh 15 million pesos yung nilabas mo. Paano mo mababawi yung pera mo? So what are you saying na kukuha ka, yayaman ka because of rental income? It's really true. Maraming pamilya dito sa Philippines, they live off rental income. They have houses in Forbes Park, may-ari sila ng lupain kung saan-saan, nire-renta as factories. But those properties that they have, those properties have been in their families for 3 decades, 4 decades. Hindi sila call center agent at bumili ng bahay sa Forbes Park. Hindi sila nurse abroad at bumili ng 10 condominiums dito sa Pilipinas. Diba? That has always been in their families for a very long time already. O yung iba, they're deluded naman. So marami akong kaibigan, sila, tamad, ayaw daw mag-sales, ayaw daw mag-Usana. And they would always tell me, Ryan, mas gusto ko stock market na lang. And I ask my friends, sabi ko, how much do you invest on average per month sa stock market? And yung iba, they tell me 10,000 pesos. Sabi ko, 10,000? In 1 year, that's 120,000. Yung very good, talented, brilliant stock market investors, ang average return nila, sobrang laki, 20%. Sabi ko, 20% of 120,000? That's just 24,000. Less capital gains tax, that's 20 mil. Aanhin mo ang 20 mil. Anong sinasabi mong yayaman-yaman ka, mag-i-invest ka sa stock market? It's a fancy thing to say. Whoa, grabe, I invest sa stock market. Pero anong kalokohan yung bariyang investment mo? Hindi ka yayaman. Sa pa 10,000 mo buwan-buwan. Diba, it's really true. Maraming tao, mga stock market investors, and dyan sila nabubuhay. Yes, yun yung mga taong nag-i-invest ng 10 million, 20 million, o yung 20 million nila, tumubo ng 5%, o 1 million kaagad yun. Pero yung 100,000 mo, tumubo ng 5%, 5,000 lang yun. Cellphone case lang yun, hindi pa yun makakabili ng cellphone. Diba? So, what do you mean by mag-stock market ka na lang at ayaw mong magnegosyo? Nag-iisip ka ba? Diba? So these people, alam mo yung sabi-sabi, keso may nabasa sila, it's nice to invest in the stock market. Oo, if you're investing like millions of pesos. Diba? So it's very deluded sa totoo lang. So yung sana sa totoo, if you would come to realize, no, this is the perfect business for you. Ngayon, this is a business that you could do part-time. This is a business that only entails a very small capital compared to traditional business. Traditional business, mag-apply ka pa lang business permit, barangay clearance, fire safety inspection clearance, sanitary permit, BIR registration, paprint ka ng resibo, paggawa ka ng logo. Yun pa lang, that would already cost you like 50 to 80,000 pesos. Permit hanggang logo pa lang, hanggang business card mo pa lang. Hindi ka pa nagbabayad ng renta, hindi ka pa nagbabayad ng tao mo. So anong sinasabi mong nasasak ka sa 40 mil na nilabas mo? Compared to traditional business, Napakawalang kwenta ng nilabas mo sa Usana. And dito sa Usana, there's a system in place. Ituturo sa'yo step by step what you need to do. And ito, no, let me correct the mindset of all the new people, lalo na't kung 1 month ka pa lang dito. Marami kasi akong nakakausap. And sila, ano naman, they really believe in what they say. They would tell me, mentor, at ako talaga, I'll give you sana 3 months. I'll do my very best. Pero if after 3 months wala akong result, I'll quit. Ako mentor 6 months talaga, 1 year talaga. For me, tigil-tigilan nyo yung mga 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. That's stupid thinking. Walang negosyanteng nag-iisip ng 3 months, 6 months. Pag hindi nabawi yung pera ko, sarado ko na to. Diba? Would you open a restaurant? After 1 month, hindi mo nabawi yung investment mo sa restaurant? Would you tell yourself, ay, 1 month na tong restaurant ko, sarado ko na nga, lugi. Ganun ba yun? Diba that's very stupid? So why would you say na you'll give you sana a month and if nothing happens, you'll stop? Walang negosyong 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Ang totoong negosyo, ang timetable niyan should be like 3 to 5 years. And I'll give you a projection here in Usana. So assuming no, na you're one person who's very talentless, wala kang alam sa sales, for some reason, attendan mo lahat ng trainings, sobrang bibo kid ka, but just the same, hindi natin alam, baka malas ka. Yung ibang tao, after like 2 months, 3 months, merong iba ha, they're already averaging like $200 to $400 a week on the 3rd month, on the 4th month. Sabihin na lang natin, you're one person, buong first 12 months mo in the business, ang average mo na lang is $100 a week. $100 a week, that's like 20 mil isang buwan. In 1 year, that's 254,000. Extra income. Extra income. For me, 250,000 pesos, that's nothing. That's nonsense. Pero ang 254,000, tandaan mo, this is already much bigger than your 13th month pay. Di ba ikaw, nagpapakasipag ka kasi may matatanggap kang 13th month pay sa December? Magkano lang ba yung 13th month pay mo? 20 mil? 30 mil? You couldn't even buy a flat screen TV with your 13th month pay. Pero ang sipag-sipag mo sa trabaho, kesyo may 13th month pay ka sa Christmas. So for me, kaysa, I'm not saying mag-resign ka, pero for me, if you're gonna end up making like 254,000 1 year, di ba? Best effort, that's not bad. First year. Second year, sabihin mo double, o that's $500,000 in 1 year. Mas malaki na kita mo sa mineral water station. Mas malaki na kita mo sa mga siomay-siomay. Di ba? In third year mo, sabihin mo, tsaka ka mag-80 mil isang buwan, 1 million in 1 year, oh, 3 years from now, 1 million extra income per year, that's not so bad. Diba? 1 million is 1 million. And that's a 3-year timetable. Kahit sabihin mong nag-join ka ng Usana, 50 ka na, o 50 ka right now, plus 3 years, 53 years old. Hindi yan masama. Diba? If you joined Usana 21 o 24 years old ka, average mo 80 to 100,000 per month, that's not bad. Diba? Pero yung sasabihin mong after 1 month, pag walang nangyari sa akin dito, I'll stop. That's deluded. Walang negosyong ganyan. Diba? You have to take this seriously for the next 3 years. And ngayon, no, let's go to the part of all the businesses na pwede mong pasukan and of all the negative comments that you may have heard or you may hear about the industry. Bakit nga ba Usana, out of all the businesses that you could really be part of? So kanina, I started a quote with Richard Branson. And ngayon, this is a video clip interview. And in this interview, meron weird question na nag-pop up. So again, si Richard Branson, he's a Euro billionaire. And then, tinanong siya nung reporter, Sir, considering mayaman ka, you're successful, anong tingin mo sa networking? Jologs ba yan? Is it a scam? Or do you have a positive outlook about the industry? Is it something you would recommend? And si Richard Branson, this is what he had to say about network marketing.
So I'm a tremendous believer in network marketing, and I'm a great believer in entrepreneurs. I think all the future jobs in the next 20 or 30 years will be created by network marketing entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs around the world, starting off from scratch or starting off very small and making a real difference in the world.
So if you would see, no, even a guy like Richard Branson actually endorses network marketing. So ang problem, if you're new to Usana, alam mo yung meron ka sigurong probably sparse comments that you would get from your friends, from your family. Hala, scam yan. Ba't ka nag-join dyan? Walang mangyayari sa'yo dyan. But then again, no, you should really keep this principle in mind. If you want to succeed, if you want to be successful, you should start listening to successful people. You want to succeed in business pero nakikinig ka sa yaya mo. Nakikinig ka sa girlfriend mo, sa boyfriend mo. But then again, are they even in business? Are they even familiar with Usana? Kasi if they're not, why even listen to them? Diba? So 2 weeks ago, ito na naman, isang kaibigan ko, siguro presentahan ko na siya ng Usana 100 times. And 2 weeks ago, he almost joined. Tapos, last minute, sabi ko, i-encode ko na yung account mo 500 points. So sabi niya, Ryan, teka lang Sabi ko, bakit? Sabi niya, gusto daw niya muna kausapin yung girlfriend niya. Sabi ko, okay. Sabi ko, yung girlfriend mo ba nagbi-business? Sabi niya, hindi. Sabi ko, what does your girlfriend do? Sabi niya, teacher. Sabi ko, okay. Sabi ko, what about Usana? Yung gusto mong i-consult sa kanya? Sabi niya, wala lang. Gusto ko lang siyang makausap. Tapos, kinausap nga niya yung girlfriend niya. Tapos after like a day, he texted me, Ryan, wag na lang muna. Ayaw ng girlfriend ko. Di ba, how weird is that? Gusto mo magnegosyo, tapos nakikinig ka sa teacher? Gusto mo magnegosyo, makikinig ka. I'm not saying wag ka makinig sa girlfriend mo. Makinig ka, pero in other aspects like business, what do they know? Diba? So if you're new, tigil-tigilan mo nang makinig sa mga taong hindi naman part ng Usana. Side comments lang, hindi nga makabili ng sales essentials, walang pambili, nakinig ka pa. Humingi ka pa ng business strategy. Diba? Another direct sponsor of mine, this was just 2 months ago. He was very excited joining Usana. After like a week, he called me. And he sounded so down. Sabi niya, Ryan, yung pinsan ko pala, nag-join na sa Usana 2 years ago Mahirap daw pala yan, wala namang nangyari sa kanya. Baka hindi ko talaga kayanin. And since then, parang yung kwento na yun got to his head. And right now, sa awa ng Diyos, nag-quit na siya. Diba? And for me, I really find that retarded. Gusto mo makinig sa negosyo, nakinig ka sa taong nalugi. Nakinig ka sa taong walang nangyari. Diba? So it's just like opening a restaurant and magtatanong ka dun sa may-ari ng nasarahan na restaurant. Ay, ano po bang ginawa nyo? Ba't kayo nalugi? Sige po, sasara ko na rin yung akin, nalugi din kayo Diba that's very stupid? So anyway, just to give you an idea how big the industry is, network marketing, direct selling is actually bigger than the music industry, movie industry. And sabi ko, I did not expect na ganyan pala kalaki ang direct selling. Sabi ko, grabe, kumurot ka nga lang ng 0.0001% of out of all the money that goes around direct selling. Ang yaman mo na talaga siguro. And true enough, that's what happened sa mga nag-join dito sa Usana. They joined like 10 years ago, pero right now, passive income nila, millions of pesos. And speaking of listening to experts, here's one prominent economist. He's a very prolific writer, si Paul Zane Pilzer. So si Paul Zane Pilzer, he's really one of the biggest endorsers also of direct selling. Sabi nga, direct selling has its benefits. It's like starting a traditional business minus the headaches. So in Usana, di ba, hiningi lang yung name mo, birthday mo, address mo, credit card mo, or pinag-transfer ka ng pera. Tapos game na, may business ka na. Di ba, yung construction, baka 1 taon pa lang, permits pa lang yung ginagawa mo. Restaurant, baka 6 to 8 months, planning ka pa lang. Sa Usana, nagbigay ka lang ng credit card mo, member ka na, o ngayon, uma-attend ka na ng training, go na. This week, pwede ka nang mag-$100 or even $200. So this is actually a very cool business, sa totoo lang. And what sets Usana apart versus yung mga katsipan, mga jologs na mga network marketing sa tabi-tabi? The very owner of Usana, si Dr. Wentz, as you would see, hindi siya Chinese na nag-repack, nag-rebrand, nagpa-advertise kay Kim Chu. So he's actually a scientist by profession, and he holds 2 doctorate degrees in immunology and microbiology. And ngayon, as you would notice, di ba, maraming bilog sa mga taas ng libro. What are those bilog-bilog? Yung mga bilog-bilog na yan, those are seals from third-party institutions that attest to what USANA claims to contain on each and every tablet. Yun yung laman talaga ng product natin. And what USANA claims to do and claims to provide as health benefit to the human body, USANA really does so. The USANA products really do so. So kung titingnan mo, yung mga nagsasabi na maganda ang USANA, yes, of course tayo. Siyempre, we're marketing the brand. But it's not only us. Even 8 other third-party independent institutions. So hindi bayaran yung mga yan. Those are not corrupt. Those are institutions from Europe. Those are institutions from Australia, from the US. And for you to get certified by them, katakot-takot na testing ang dadaanan mo. And that precisely explains, no? In the presentation, this was explained to you. In Canada, di ba, they came up with a study to determine anong magandang brand, ano yung sabi-sabi lang. Out of the 1,200 brands that they studied, brand per brand, they graded everything. USANA came out number 1 out of 1,200 brands. And there are still people who would attack the legitimacy of the study. They would say, biased yan, bayaran yan. Oh, but here's the thing, 8th edition na yan. 8th edition. Out of 1,200 companies, wala pang nagdedemanda. O di ba uso ang demanda-demanda sa Western countries? O ba't hindi nagdemanda yung mga binigyan ng 0? Binigyan ng half star, 1 star? It's really because there's scientific basis to the study that they made. And another person who's really impressed with USANA, his name is Dr. Oz. For the people who don't know him, si Dr. Oz, he's actually a celebrity doctor. So si Donald Trump, si Julia Roberts, mga big Hollywood celebrities, they guest on his show. And when you ask Dr. Oz, what's a good vitamin product, the only brand that he names and answers is USANA. Never niyang sinabing Alive, never niyang sinabing Centrum, Pharmaton. USANA lang talaga sinasabi niya. That's why even locally, it's common knowledge. No? Si Pacquiao takes USANA. Our Olympic athletes take USANA. The US, Canadian, European, Australian, Chinese Olympic athletes, they take USANA. Diba sasabihin mo, ay, i-research ko muna before ko tingnan. Don't you think itong mga sports commissions na to, nag-research muna sila before nila ipatake sa athletes nila? Diba? USANA is really number 1. And if you keep that in mind, no, yung considering how good the company is, how good the products are, there's really nothing to be ashamed about this business. And even if you're gonna look at the stock price, so it's not part of the discussion today. Pero yung stock price ng USANA, it's surging. Yung demand for quality nutritional products, it's surging. Diba? So this is actually the perfect business. Now we go to the second to the last part of this training. So ano na tayo? We're 3/4 done. So, nandito na tayo sa part ng how to earn. Paano mo nga ba mababalik yung pera mo? And paano ka na nga ba ulit kikita dito sa USANA? So, ngayon, it's very, very important na you understand this part very clearly. Kasi for me, ang hirap naman magtrabaho kung hindi mo naiintindihan paano nga ba kumita. So, let's start. First way to earn here in USANA is what we call retail income. So I have good news to all the new people in the business. When you joined USANA, you did not buy your products at retail price. You bought all your products at distributor's price. So itong 3.9 na yan ang benta mo sa customers mo. Ngayon sasabihin mo, ay, ang mahal pala ng USANA. It's not mahal. Kasi that's good for 4 months. 4 months. It's less than 1,000 pesos per month. At retail price per tablet, it's 17 pesos. But to give you a point of comparison, sabihin natin ayaw mo mag-USANA, gusto mo local brand. For you to be able to match the content of USANA, you should actually take Centrum, Optin, Liver Aid, and 4G. Centrum, that's multivitamins. Optin for your eyes, Liver Aid pang liver, 4G for your skin. Oh, that's 80 pesos. 80 pesos per day versus 17 pesos ng USANA per tablet o times 2, 34 pesos. O which would you rather spend on? 34 pesos ng USANA made in the US o Optin na made in Valenzuela? liver aid na made in Bulacan. 'Di ba? And those brands, they don't have third-party certifications. Yung sana has. Ngayon, kung titingnan mo, if you're a distributor, ang bili mo lang dyan is 3,250. So for each pair that you sell, meron kang 650 pesos na tubo. Maraming tao sa'yo sana, initially, no, sising-sisi sila. Parang, shucks, what if hindi ko mabenta yung products? Hindi talaga ako magaling magbenta. Pero ito, no, nakakatuwa. Every week, we have Yusana actually provides mga 3-5 product trainings. And lahat ng teams dito sa Yusana, I'm sure all the teams come up with how to sell product trainings. So if you attend all of those trainings, it's impossible na hindi mo mabenta yung products mo. So ngayon, kung feeling mo you're not good in sales and you really don't know how to start talking about Yusana with your friends, or you don't know how to market the products, the good news is even that aspect, may training tayo para dyan. Diba? So attendan mo lang. So marami sa'yo sana, no, retail income pa lang nila, even in our team. Ako personally natutuwa ako because I know it's already a big help to them. Retail income pa lang ng mga bago, yung iba umaabot sila ng 2K, 3,000 per week. Sabi ko 3,000 per week, 12,000 per month, retail income. Kahit papano, pang Meralco na yan, pang grocery na yan. Diba? And ngayon you're asking, kailan mo mababalik yung pera mo? Benta mo lahat ng products mo. Bawi na yung pera mo. And ang good news is, apart from babalik yung pera mo, may tubo ka pa. Diba? That's all about the retail income. Second naman is what we call the weekly commissions. Weekly commissions. So from the name itself, no, obviously, this is something that you could make every week. You could earn every week. And what I want you to memorize is the cut-off. Ano yung cut-off ng weekly commissions natin? It's Saturday, 2 p.m. Philippine time. Saturday, 2 p.m. sa Pilipinas is 12 midnight. Friday, sa corporate headquarters natin. So pagdating ng Saturday, 2 p.m., dito sa Pilipinas, how will you sana compute your weekly commissions? So for you to understand that, look at the left-hand side. Di ba may bilog-bilog dyan? So for example, let's assume this is my account, Ryan.001. So for me to earn from the weekly commissions, kailangan ko bumuo ng team sa left, team sa right side. So for example, kunyari, I have a friend based in London. Sabihin natin nurse siya and gusto niya mag-join sa Yusana London. Sabihin natin mag-join siya sa Yusana London, mag-sign up siya with 500 points. So itong person A sa left side ko, tuwing bumibili siya sa London, yung points niya umaakyat sa kaliwang side ko. What if itong person A from London, may kaibigan siya sa Tuguegarao? Itong kaibigan niya sa Tuguegarao, gustong mag-member sa Yusana Philippines, bumili 700 points. So itong dalawang to, every time they buy, all the points that they get are counted towards my left side. Same thing happens on the right. So all you need to do is build a group on your left, build a group on your right. So if you're somebody na feeling mo you're not that good in terms of persuading people, wala kang masyadong kakilala, this is the perfect business for you. Kasi what you'll do, you'll just target people na mas maraming kakilala sa'yo and mas magaling mag-persuade sa'yo. Yun yung kakausapin natin for your left and right side. And if they end up joining, o di may left and right ka na, ngayon, let's go to the part, balikan natin yung time na you were still a guest. You were being asked, what do you want to get? 1 business center or 3 business centers? 300 points or 500 points? What's the difference? So, yung difference nun, dito siya naglalaro sa weekly commissions. So, let's discuss first the 1 business center. Pag 1 business center ka, when you log in, you would see Ryan.001. So, I only have 1 account. So, if I have 4 sign-ups, 2 sa left, 2 sa right, so, yung weekly commissions ko, paano siya i-compute? Pagdating ng Saturday 2 p.m., makikita ng system, there's 1,000 points sa left, 1,000 points sa right. So, what Yusana does, titingnan niya, ano ba yung points na nag-match? Ano ba yung points na nag-balance? So, in this case, 1,000 sa kaliwa, 1,000 sa kanan. So, 1,000 times 20% is $200. So meaning to say, kung ano yung points na nagbanggaan times 20%, that's your commission in US dollars. So this is an example of how much your commission is. If you have one business center and you have 1,000 points on your left, 1,000 points on your right side. Ngayon, let's talk about the 3 business centers. If you got 3 business centers, you would see, pag login mo, Ryan 001, 002, 003. So in this case, as you would notice, I have 3 accounts. So if you have 4 sign-ups, dyan sa ilalim, yung 500, 500, 500, 500, nilagay mo sa kaliwat kanan ng 002, kaliwat kanan ng 003, makikita mo, si 001 may $200 siya, si 002, since may kaliwat kanan, sarili siyang kaliwat kanan, may $100 siya, si 003, may $100 din siya. That's why, kung titingnan mo ng maigi, one business center, 4 people na mag-join, ang maximum potential income mo dito is $200. Pag 3 business centers ka naman, it's $400. So ngayon, if you're one person who started with 3 business centers, very, very good kasi you're gonna be able to maximize the USANA compensation plan. And if you started naman with 1 business center, very bad. Kasi sayang, malaki yung sayang. But here's some good news for you. You're actually gonna be given a certain amount of time to upgrade your account. But I won't discuss that in detail. After this training, you can ask your coach or mentor how to upgrade. Pero there's time limit, so kailangan magawa mo siya kaagad. So again, if you have 3 BC, malamang sinasabi mo, sana nag 1 BC na lang ako tapos i-upgrade. For me, it's still the best na mag-start ng 3 BC kaagad. Why? Number 1, you have a $30 bonus commission. And number 2, that's one less thing to worry about. That's one less thing to worry about. Diretso ka na sa network building. Hindi mo na iisipin pa yung upgrade. Pangpagulo pa yan sa isip. But then again, kung 1 BC ka, wala kang choice. You need to deal with your upgrade. So tanong mo later sa coach or mentor mo. Third way of earning naman, this is what we call the matching bonus. Matching bonus. So with the name, no, it's a bonus. So meaning to say, you could be entitled to it, you could receive it, or you could not receive it. Based on what? Based on the status of your account. So for you to make matching bonus, kailangan, ang status ng account mo is what we call Premier Platinum Pay Setter. Premier Platinum Pay Setter. Or what we call PPPS. PPPS. If you're new in USANA, masanay ka na. Tatanungin ka palagi ng mga tao dito, uy, PPPS ka na ba? Ilan pa kulang mo for PPPS? Tapusin mo na yung PPPS mo. So bakit? PPPS is actually your very first goal. Your very first goal in USANA. So, kapag hindi ka PPPS, ifo-forfeit mo forever yung matching bonus mo. So, how do you actually hit PPPS? It's very, very simple. You actually just have to get 4 pay-ins na bibili ng 1,600 points. 4 people who will get 1,600 points. So, sabihin natin, you have 4 friends and they get 500 points each. So, 500 points times 4 people, that's 2,000 points. So nag-over ka pa. Automatically, PPPS ka na nun. So it's as simple as that. Getting 4 people na bibili ng 1,600. What if you get 4 people pero ang bilhin nila 300 points each? So 1-2 lang. So what you can do, you can sponsor a 5th person, a 6th person, basta umabot ka ng 1,600 points. Ngayon, here's the thing. Technically, USANA is actually giving you 56 days or 8 weeks to hit your PPPS. But in our team, it's really our culture na PPPS should be finished on your first 2 weeks. First 2 weeks. Yung iba kasi, it's such a relief to them. Okay, 8 weeks pala. Sige, I'll finish my PPPS after 8 weeks. Pero for me, let me correct that mindset kaagad. Actually, ano yan? Utak tamad. So parang nagsimula ka ng business, in plano mo magtamad-tamaran dito. 'Di ba? So yeah, you're being given 56 days, 8 weeks. But it doesn't mean na you have to exhaust your 8 weeks. Diba? So meaning to say, if you want to hit PPPS, dapat 2 weeks lang. So meaning to say, first week mo you get 2 people, second week mo you get 2 people, then you move on to the next goal. So you move on to the next goal. Kasi what you need to understand, if you're new sa Usana, goals here are progressive. So meaning to say, after you're done with PPPS, ano yung next na ituturo namin sa'yo? How to earn $100 every week. Pag na-consistent mo yung $100 per week, ano yung next goal natin? How to earn $200 per week, then 400, then 600, then 800. Ngayon, if you tell me, you plan to finish your PPPS in like 8 weeks, today is already the second week of August. So kung sasagarin mo yung 8 weeks, tatapusin mo sa second week of October. So second week of October, tsaka pa lang tayo mag-uusap about $100. So sabihin natin, makonsistent mo yung $100 ng December. January, $200 a week pa lang pinag-uusapan natin. Ang bagal-bagal naman. Diba? Eh yung iba nga, second month nila sa Usana, 30 mil na, 50 mil na. Ikaw 6 months na, $100 a week pa din lang yung pinag-uusapan. So for me, if you get into something, bawal ang tamad. Dapat all out ka kagad dito. Diba? And ako, I really believe in the saying, the beginning of any task shall affect its outcome more than anything else. The beginning of any task shall affect its outcome more than anything else. Meaning to say, kung paano mo sisimulan yung isang bagay na pinasok mo, it would largely determine kung ano yung magiging resulta mo. So kung tamad-tamaran ka sa simula, don't expect any big result out of this business. Ngayon ka na nga lang ng negosyo, tatamad-tamad ka pa. So alam mo yun, one thing na you should do away, we should all do away as mga Pilipino. Di ba mga Pilipino, manyana habit, ningas kugon. Ay, tatapusin ko naman yan, pero tsaka na, tsaka na. Anyway, may 6 weeks pa naman. Anyway, 4 weeks pa naman. Anyway, 2 weeks pa naman. Tapos after, pagdating sa dulo, last week, sasabihin nila, ay grabe, 1 week na lang, ang hirap-hirap mag-PPPS. Kasi sino bang nagsabi sa yung tapusin mo siya on your last week? Di ba sinabi namin on your first 2 weeks, tapusin mo na siya? So later, after this training, I really want you to approach your coach or mentor before tayo mag-lunch. Tanong mo, paano ba tapusin yung PPPS in 2 weeks? Kasi yung coach mo or mentor mo, kayang-kaya ka naman yung turuan. Diba? Pero for me, dapat ganyan ang mindset mo. Anyway, let's discuss. Ano ba yung matching bonus? Why do you need to hit PPPS? Matching bonus is actually a very, very big bonus na ifo-forfeit mo pag hindi ka PPPS. So ang usapan sa matching bonus, lahat ng taong madadala mo sa Usana, today, 6 years from now, 100 years from now, anuman kitain ng mga taong na-enroll mo sa business, so long as they're PPPS as well, meron kang 15% match. So in this example, sabihin natin, you have persons A, B, C, and D, and sila, they also have their own Usana accounts, they're also earning every week. Whatever they earn every single week, times 15%, you get $300 matching bonus. Ngayon, let me give you a more specific example. This is a sample income of here in Usana of Mentor Sheila De Vera. So si Mentor Sheila, she's an investigative journalist. She used to work for Mike Enriquez, and she's been with us for, I think, 8 or 9 years already. So if you would look at her income, the second column, yan yung weekly commissions, yung left and right. That's 444,000 in 3 months. Third column, highlighted in red, is the matching bonus, 270,000. So kung titingnan mo sa last column, magkano total income niya? 640. And yung iba, they would say, okay na ako sa weekly, okay na ako sa 400,000. Again, kung ganyan ang mindset mo, hindi ka rin naabot ng 400,000. Kasi tamad ka. 'Di ba? Kasi weekly PPPS na nga lang, hindi mo pa tinapos. O hindi ka rin magpo-push ng 400,000. Pustahan tayo. And for me, ganyan ka ba kayaman na 270,000 is nothing to you? 'Di ba? So for me, kung gagawin mo na rin lang yung Usana, gawin mo siya ng maayos, gawin mo siya ng matino, day 1 mo pa lang. Tapusin mo yung PPPS mo on your first 2 weeks. And when we say first 2 weeks, let me look at my calendar. 2 weeks from now is August 23. August 23. So that should be your personal deadline. Tapusin mo yan by August 23. So, Ngayon, let's talk about the last way of earning that I'm gonna discuss this morning, which is the auto-order bonus. Auto-order bonus. But before we talk about the auto-order bonus, let's talk about the auto-order first. Ano tong auto-order? Every month, ang maintenance na kailangan mo sa Usana is 100 points. Meaning to say, every month, you need to reorder 100 points worth of products. So ngayon, yung mga bago, pag naririnig nila yan, na-overwhelm sila talaga. Kakabili ko nga lang ng 300 points, 500 points, I need to reorder 100 points again. So ngayon, before ka mag-panic dyan, or before ka mag-overreact, isipin mo, this is nothing different from traditional business. So kunyari, you open a restaurant, maglabas kang 1 million, that's your initial capital. But every month, there are rolling expenses. So siguro, labas ka 1 million, but every month, you need to spend like 400,000 a month for rent, sweldo, yung inventory mo. Sa inyo sana, it's the same. You start with 300 points, 500 points, then moving forward, every month, ang rolling mo na lang dito is 100 points. And ngayon, yung 100 points na yan, tandaan mo, hindi yan bodega ng products, hindi yan factory. Actually, 100 points every month, 3 sets lang yan ng vitamins. So, tatlo lang yan. And after you attend product trainings, it's actually easier than you think. And later, after this slide, I have very good news for everybody regarding auto-order. So, I think this is something na hindi masyadong nadidiscuss if you're a guest. But if you're new, you would really like the concept of auto-order. Anyway, what's the auto-order bonus? Sabi sa Usana, pag umabot ka ng 5,000 points left, 5,000 points right because of auto-order, instead of getting, di ba sabi natin 5,000 times 20%, $1,000, instead of just getting $1,000 per week, you would actually get a $250 bonus every week. Basta nag-auto-order max ka. So yung iba, they're actually underwhelmed. Parang, $250? Pero let me compute that for you, no? If you get $250 every week, times 4 weeks, that's $1,000 bonus. Iba yung retail income, iba yung matching bonus, and iba pa yung other bonuses ng Usana. Diba? Kung $1,000 bonus, isipin mo yun, that's 50 mil isang buwan. Kung nagbabayad-bayad ka ng kung ano-ano, kotse, bahay, for me, that's already very good extra income bonus. Baka covered na nga yung mortgage mo. Baka even cost of living mo, buhay ka na rin. Diba? So this is a bonus. $1,000 every month if you're consistent with the auto-order bonus. Anyway, what's my good news for everybody? When you joined Usana, when you bought your products, you got more or less 25%. But when you do auto-order, you will actually be getting an additional 10% discount. Say for example, next month, ang gusto mo nga talagang orderin is 3 multivitamins. So each set of Cell Essentials is 3,250. Times 3, that's 9,750. But because you're entitled to an additional 10% discount, minus 975, that's 8,775 na lang. Or only 2,925 pesos per set. 2,925, that's less than 3K. Yung 2,925 na yan, that's good for 4 months. And ikaw lang as a Usana distributor ang may access sa presyong yan. Diba? And you actually get Usana products very cheap pagdating ng auto-order mo. So basically that's it, no? Let's recap. Number 1 is retail. Number 2 is weekly commissions. Number 3 is matching bonus. 4th is auto-order bonus. So now we go to the very last part of this training, which is, sige, knowing all those things, how do you actually build the business? Na wala kang background, wala kang ka-idea, how do you build the business? So itong 5 fingers na to, these are actually just 5 basic things that you should know at the tip of your fingers. And talagang dapat ma-master mo siya because these are very basic. And sa sobrang basic niya, minsan nga hindi mo alam, seryoso ba to or kakornihan lang. Pero sa totoo lang, yung mga lawyer, yung mga judges, even doctors, traditional business people, these are the 5 basic things we taught them. And after applying all these 5 things, lahat sila nag-momentum naman. Lahat sila naging profitable naman ang Usana business nila. So let's start, no. Number 1, if you really want to succeed in Usana, you really have to know your why. Know your why. And when you hear this, parang ang corny, no? Know your why. Pero ako, sa dinami-dami ng business books na nabasa ko, and interviews ng mga business people, sila, they really give this as an advice to everybody, lalo na yung mga startup entrepreneurs, yung mga bago sa negosyo. Sabi niya, it's very hard to start in a business. And it's even harder if it's not clear to you, why are you actually doing business instead of being a mere employee? So sabi niya, your why as a business person should be clear to you. So knowing your why is not actually unique to Usana. It's actually essential in all the businesses na papasukin mo. So for you to understand, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng knowing your why, let me share with you personally, no, what my why was when I was the one starting 11 years ago. Nung ako yung bago sa business just like you. So 11 years ago, just like what I was sharing with you guys kanina, when I got introduced to Usana, I was a nursing graduate from UST. Na-frustrate naman yung mga plano kong mag-abroad because of the recession sa US. So I tried applying sa St. Luke's BGC. Sobrang baba nga ng sweldo. Sabi ko, I'm not willing to work for 300 pesos a day. So sabi ng iba sa akin, I could get a call center job. Pero what was clear to me as young as 21 years old, sabi ko, parang what I really don't want to subject myself to was for other people to own my time. Meaning to say, alam mo yung hindi pa ako tapos matulog, gigising na ako because kailangan ko gawin yung trabaho ko, kailangan ko mag-report sa ibang tao. Or yung alam mo yung wala ka naman na sa mood na pumasok sa work, but since that's how you make money, wala ka namang option and so pasok ka ulit. So sabi ko, at even as young as 21, I want to make money, I'm willing to work hard, but it was very clear to me, ayoko ibang tao nagmamay-ari ng oras ko. Secondly, sabi ko, I didn't want to be 25, 30, nang wala pa rin narating sa buhay. Yung iba kasi trabaho lang ng trabaho, tumanda na lang, wala namang nangyari. So for me, I had a certain timetable. Sabi ko at age 25, kahit hindi naman super yaman, pero sabi ko yung if I want to buy something, alam mo yung hindi naman yung magtitiis muna ako ng 1 month, 2 months before I buy rubber shoes. Or 1 month, 2 months, or kailangan lang ba birthday pagkakain sa labas? Di ba? Those are basic luxuries eh. So sabi ko, I didn't want to be 25. Pati ba naman yung mga bagay na yun, hindi ko pa rin afford. And sabi ko, pagdating ng 30, I didn't want to be 30 nung wala akong sariling property, nung wala akong savings, nang I'm not well-traveled. So sabi ko, dapat by 30, kahit papano, I've already achieved all of those things. And true enough, lahat naman nangyari. Di ba? So it should be clear to you, why are you in this business? What's your goal here? And kanina, as Attorney Steph was introducing me, no, tinitingnan ko ulit, meron mga bata, meron middle age na uma-attend ngayon sa training. Tinitingnan ko yung videos nyo kanina and pictures nyo. And definitely, depending on your age bracket, magkakaiba tayo ng why. So let me start with the young ones first, no, yung mga 20s, 30s. So yung mga young ones, tayo, we're very talented. Actually, mas tech savvy tayo, mas magaling tayo sa mga magulang natin. Pero if you're young, di ba, ang sigaw kasi ng bayan is always pursue your passion, pursue your passion. Which is correct naman. You have to pursue your passion. But it doesn't mean na you don't have to think about money. Di ba, how will you buy your house? How will you buy your own car? How will you save money? Kung passion-passion ka dyan, wala ka namang pera. Di ba? So at the end of the day, yeah, hindi mo type si Usana. This is not what you really dreamt for yourself. But at the end of the day, if this is the opportunity that could make you big amounts of money, why not take this seriously? Diba? And if you're young, siguro ikaw, you're okay. Nabibili mo yung luho mo. Pero you have to be sensitive. Diba? Sa totoo lang, yung parents mo, they're still working. And if they had the option to retire, they want to. But how can they retire? They cannot depend on you. Sarili mo nga lang, hindi mo mabuhay. Dumepende pa kaya sila sa'yo. Diba? But how could you support your parents kung yung sweldo mo nga hindi enough for you? And how could you even start your own family? Diba? Sarili mo ng pagkain, hindi mo mabili. Di ba? It's a joke. So ngayon, for the people naman na 40s, 50s, or even 30s, if you already have a family, all the more na kailangan mong gawin sa iyo sana. Di ba? Tigil-tigilan mo na yung I'm busy. Gusto ko naman talaga sa iyo sana eh. Kaya lang, inaasikaso ko yung mga anak ko. Ang dami kong ginagawa sa work. But here's the thing, no? Don't make the reason why you need to be financially successful your excuse why you cannot work on a business that would make you financially successful. Yung iba kasi gusto maging successful to provide better options for their kids. Kaya lang, they cannot be successful kasi busy daw sila with their kids. Well, how stupid is that? Diba? I understand if you're working and you're raising your own kids, syempre you're busy. Syempre, alam mo yun, napaka-toxic, ang dami mong pinagsasabay-sabay. But all the more, you should have a compelling reason ba't mo kailangan seryosohin to. Diba? So it should be clear what your why is. Sabi nga nila, unless this is clear to you, you're just gonna end up working aimlessly. Trabaho ka ng trabaho, ng trabaho, ng trabaho. And bakit walang nangyayari? Because you don't know what you want. You don't know ano bang buhay yung gusto mo. So unless that's clear, you're not gonna succeed in this business. Hindi uubra dito yung mindset na try lang. Sige mentor, I'll try. If it clicks, di good. Kung hindi talaga para sa akin yung Yusana. That's not true. You should really know your why. Second naman is what we call the concept of 80-20. 80-20. What's 80-20? Probably, patapos na tayo right now, but still, at the back of your mind, you're still thinking in your head na ay, gusto ko naman mag-Yusana, kaya lang, wala talaga akong sales skills eh. I'm really not such an eloquent person. I don't know how to persuade. I don't know how to sell. Pero here's the thing, no? Ako 10 years na ako dito. Pero I've worked with so many people, sobrang galing, pero hindi naman nagsasucceed sa'yo sana. Kasi sa totoo lang, more than the skill, what really matters in this business is the mindset. Ang skills pwedeng ituro yan. Ang mindset mahirap. Kasi mindset galing yan sa pagkabata eh. Kung paano tayo mag-isip. Ngayon, for me, no, I would rather work with somebody na walang skills, pero yung mindset okay. Mas mahirap katrabaho yung taong magaling, pero yung attitude bulok. Diba? And what do I mean by a bulok attitude? I will still remember again, from that training sa pastor, sabi nung pastor, there was something that pastor said also that made me realize something. Wala pa akong 6 months sa'yo sana. Sabi niya, most people fail in life. Most people fail in life because they always think and they always insist that they're right. Marami daw tao, they don't succeed because they always insist. Argue ng argue, tama sila, magaling sila. Pero sabi niya, if you think you're right, but you're not rich, hindi ka naman mayaman, then you're wrong. Kung feeling mo, ang galing-galing mo, napaka-brilliant mong tao ka, ayaw mo makinig sa amin, pero hindi ka naman mayaman, what's the point? Diba? Diba, you should be humble. Kasi sa totoo lang, humble people, they learn faster. And sila, they correct course faster. Ngayon, kung yung attitude mo, ang hirap turuan, walang mangyayari sa'yo dito. Diba? Wala ka nang alam, hindi ka pa nagpapaturo. Wala talagang mangyayari. Diba? One sponsor ko na naman sa'yo sana, couple of months ago, she joined Thursday morning. And ako, I was very excited, turuan siya. Kasi friend ko rin to from college. Sabi ko, sige, ano naman ngayon, Thursday morning. Sabi ko, pwede ba after lunch, Zoom tayo ulit? Sabi ko, itong buong training, NBO one-on-one kami. Sabi ko, I'm willing to teach you para game tayo kaagad. Sabi niya, Ryan, after lunch, meron daw siyang Zoom meeting sa work. Work from home lang siya. Sabi ko, edi sige, after your Zoom meeting, mag one-on-one tayo. So sabi niya, ay, pagod na ako nun. Next time na lang. Sabi ko, okay. Sabi ko, what about tomorrow, Friday? Anyway, weekend naman na the following day. Sabi niya, ay Ryan, may Zoom meeting din ako bukas eh. Pagod daw siya after Zoom meeting. Yung sa loob-loob ko, ano ba to? Work from home na nga. Napagod ka pa, Zoom meeting lang. So sabi ko, sige, what about Saturday? I'll teach you one-on-one. After cut-off natin sa'yo sana. Sabi ko, pwede ka ba 3 p.m.? Sabi niya, Ryan, yung Saturday daw niya, grocery day daw niya, laundry day, and she cooks for her family. So sabi ko, okay, what about Sunday? Sabi niya, ay Sunday, rest day ko yun kasi work na daw the following day. And after I said Sunday, wala na. Hindi ko na siya finalo up. Sabi ko, bahala ka na nga sa buhay mo, hirap mo turuan. Diba? And that's precisely ang problema sa mga Pilipino. Gustong umasenso, gustong magbago yung buhay, tuturuan mo na nga. Isa-spoon feed mo na nga, pero ang tamad. Panay excuse. Diba? So for me, kung nagne-negosyo ka, you need to find time. You need to give your commitment here. Diba? And ngayon probably nakukulitan ka because people keep asking you to attend mga Zoom trainings. Pero for me, you have to appreciate that. Kasi diba sinabi sa'yo nung guest ka, tutulungan ka dito? Iga-guide ka dito? Consider the alternative. What if nag-join ka, tapos wala ka nang narinig from us? Di ba mas nakaka-bad trip yun? So ngayon, pasalamat ka nga na you join and people are actually guiding you step by step. So dito, it's very important that you have a yes mentor attitude. What's a yes mentor attitude? Yes mentor attitude is no different from a yes boss attitude. Ang corny kasi ng yes mentor, sa totoo lang, lalo na if you're new, yung terms like coach or mentor, di ba parang jologs, parang jejemon, but mentor. Parang wala naman akong tinatawag na mentor dati. Pero sa totoo lang, coach or mentor, it's no different from calling someone a boss. Kasi di ba yung boss, sa totoo lang, pag may pinagawa siya sa'yo, you need to submit this by today. We have to have a conference call by Saturday or early in the morning. Di ba you don't tell your boss, ay boss, ba't ngayon yung deadline? Pwede ba next week na lang? Pagod pa ako eh. Wala akong labandera ngayon. Walang yaya. Pwede ba next week ko na lang isubmit? Ay, conference call, boss, matutulog pa ako, pagod ako eh. Pwede ba? Ano na lang yan? Sa hapon na lang? Di ba you don't have that attitude towards your boss? You have to follow your boss. Because if you don't, hindi mo makukuha yung sweldo mo. Kasi sana walang sweldo dito. Pero what happens is that hindi mo makukuha yung result na gusto mo. And dito no, you should really have a good learning and listening attitude. Good learning and listening attitude. So meaning to say, pag may tuturo sa'yo, umuo ka na lang, mag-yes mentor ka na lang talaga, makinig ka na lang talaga. So tandaan mo no, wala kaming papagawa sa'yo na wala lang, gusto ka lang namin pagurin, diba? Gusto ka lang namin umattend ng 10 Zoom meetings. Wala lang point, gusto lang namin sayangin yung oras mo. That's not what we're doing here. And I'll tell you why. Number one, why we want you to have a result very fast, no? And a result as big as you want. Number one, naging advocacy na namin throughout the years. That's why we're successful here. Because we really help the people who join our organizations. And number two, why we really want you to have a big result fast, it's because may pakinabang kami dyan. Pag lumaki ang result mo, lumaki ang organization mo, ang dami mong points na produce, lahat ng points na yan naakyat sa amin. So mas lalaki ang income namin dito. So wala kaming papagawa sa'yo na nonsense. Lahat ng papagawa namin sa'yo, it's geared towards you getting a big result ASAP. Diba? So third naman is being able to master the Usana compensation plan. Kanina we touched on that. Hopefully kahit papano na-gets nyo siya. But if hindi naman, don't worry kasi as you listen to more presentations, as you attend more trainings, magigets mo yan. So ako to be honest, no, I remember na intindihan ko yata yung left and right, yung mga 15%. 2 months na ako sa Usana. So if hindi mo siya na-gets this morning in its entirety, magigets mo rin yan eventually. Just keep attending trainings. Second to the last naman is what we call prospect list. Prospect list. What's a prospect list? Prospect list is actually not unique to Usana. All businesses have prospect lists. They just call it differently. So, if your business is real estate, car dealership, insurance, you should really have a customer list, a cold call list, or whatever list. It should be a list of people that you could approach to offer your products or services to. Ngayon, in Usana, it's the same thing. Yung prospect list mo, you should really have a list of 300 names. 300 names of people you know. We really expect you na isulat mo yan sa papel or i-type mo yan sa Excel. But just the same, you really need to write it down. Ngayon, let me forewarn you. We really don't care kung matalino kang tao or if you have a good memory. Just the same, we really expect you to write 300 names. Bakit? Kasi people who don't have prospect lists, 90% of the time, they quit. 90% of the time, they quit. Bakit? What they do if they rely on memory, they'll get their cell phone and they would text their barkada, they would text their office mate, they would text their cousins, and they would contact about 30 people. And after contacting 30 people, yung iba busy, yung iba bibili but not now, kulang sa budget, yung iba hindi interested, or yung iba interested pero saka na, hindi nila priority. So ngayon, after contacting 30 people, these people who don't have prospect lists, they would conclude, bad trip, dapat hindi na ako nag-join ng Usana, wala talaga akong kakilala. Ngayon, why do they conclude that? It's really because sinabihan na silang gumawa ng prospect list, hindi pa rin gumawa. Di ba? Very basic na nga lang. Sasabihin nila, ay nakakapagod, magsusulat ako 300 names. Eh sige nga, magtayo ka ng real estate company. Anong mas madali? Magsulat ng 300 names o magtayo ng real estate company? And magninegosyo ka na nga lang, magsulat ng 300 names, nakakapagod na for you. Di ba? Then again, small habits. Yung attitude, yung mindset, it's really a determinant of your success here. And when we say prospect list, no, ito memory jogger siya. Sino ba yung 300 names? Actually, Facebook pa lang, Instagram pa lang, ubos na yan eh. Diba? And just to give you an idea, if you're new, hindi ka magaling magbenta, hindi ka magaling magsalita, you don't know much people, ang failure rate mo in Usana is 90%. So meaning to say, for every 100 people you will talk to, 90 people would say no to you outright. Pero here's the good news. Ang success rate mo is 10%. O if you have a list of 300 names, it's easy for you to get 30 people. 30 people. Eh ngayon, kung ang kailangan mo lang naman for PPPS is 4, there's no reason para hindi ka mag-PPPS. There's no reason para hindi ka mag-PPPS in 2 weeks. Kailangan mo lang tapusin yung prospect list na yan ngayong araw. Diba? And ngayon, let me give you 2 advanced tips. 2 advanced tips. Actually, this is dapat sinasabi sa next training, pero I really want to help you guys hit your PPPS kaagad and build a network very fast. So I'll share these tips this morning. So tip number 1, if you really want to hit your PPPS fast and build your business fast, tip number 1 is that you should talk to people who are particularly highly accomplished, highly driven, and highly ambitious people. Highly accomplished, highly driven, highly ambitious people. And why am I giving you this tip or this reminder this morning? If you're new to network marketing, there's always that instinct, invitin yung mga taong walang magawa sa buhay. Oo, yung kumpare ko, tambay lang yun. Sige, maraming oras yun, invitin ko sa sayo sana. Yung kumari ko, maghapon lang yun. Wala yung ginagawa. So ngayon, there's that idea na network marketing is for people na walang magawa sa buhay. Pero what I realized, you should be conscious about who you offer Usana to. Kasi sa tagal ko sa Usana, if you talk to 20 people, pero lahat sila tamad, tambay, kahit gaano kagaling yung presentation, kahit gaano kaganda yung offer, it would always end with them telling you, maganda naman yan, kaya lang hirap. Hindi ko linya yan eh. Busy ako ngayon. Dami kong ginagawa. Di ba? Maganda yan, kaya lang hindi ko linya yan. And why do they answer that? It's because, sa totoo lang, they are people we consider tamad. Di ba? Ako sa tagal ko sa Usana, I don't believe in busy. I don't believe in walang pera or hindi ko linya yan. Bakit? Marami namang busy pero nag-succeed dito sa Usana. Si Attorney Noel, si Judge Earl. Hindi naman nagpapanggap na busy yung dalawang yun. They're really busy. As in super busy. Di ba? Wala naman silang oras. Busy talaga sila. O ba't sila nag-goal director dito? Sasabihin wala silang pera. Ako, personally, nung na-invite ako sa'yo, sana ang pera ko 50 pesos Yung mami ko, ayaw ako pahiramin ng pera. Pero since super gusto ko mag-Yusana, nakapag-join naman ako. Di ba sasabihin nila, hindi linya? Parang 99.99% ng yumayaman dito sa Yusana, hindi naman nila linya to O nag-succeed naman sila. So when you talk to 20 lazy people, they would always tell you, sige balikan na lang muna kita, I cannot decide right now Diba? Parang wala ka nang ginagawa sa buhay mo, hindi ka pa makapag-decide. Pati ba naman mag-decide ang tamad mo? Diba? So at the end of the day, if you want to build your network fast, you should target highly accomplished, highly ambitious, and highly driven people. And these are people, when you show them a good opportunity, they wouldn't have second thoughts. Talagang kakagatin nila yung business na yan. That explains bakit nandito ka. Diba? You may not be siguro super duper highly accomplished, pero you're one person na meron kang drive, meron kang hidden ambition inside you na na-trigger when you saw the opportunity. Diba? So you look for people similar to you. Secondly, second tip, if you want to succeed in this business, before ka mag-invite ng highly successful, highly driven people, i-prioritize mo muna yung top 20 mo. Top 20. Who are your top 20? Ito yung family and friends mo, people close to you. Para before mag-join yung highly ambitious people, yung network mo, nakapwesto na sa itaas yung pamilya mo. Yung iba kasi, inuuna yung ibang tao, and by the time mag-join yung nanay nila, yung girlfriend nila, yung mismong kapatid nila, pag-join sa network nila, nandun na sa ilalim. So yung points ng mga kamag-anakan nila, ng kaibigan nila, umaakyat sa ibang tao yung nakinabang. And you don't want that happening. Diba? Yung iba, they would preempt me. Mentor, even if I talk to my ate, even if I talk to my parents, my office mates, pagtatawanan lang naman nila ako. Hindi naman nila yan magugustuhan. Pero for me, what makes you so sure? Ikaw nga, when you were a guest here, you were skeptic. But after listening to the presentation, nag-sign up ka, di ba? But you were skeptic. So ngayon, it's the same thing. You just need to show the presentation to as many people as you can, then let them decide. Hindi mo pa nga kinakausap, ikaw na nag-decide for them na no. When you talk to somebody, there's 50-50% chance. When you don't talk to somebody, there's 0% chance na sasali sila. And if you're new, when it comes to rejections, keep this in mind. If kunyari, yung wallet mo, may laman na 20 mil, at yung nawala yung wallet mo, you lost something worth 20,000. Pero when it comes to rejection, sa totoo lang, if 20 people reject you, even if 200 people reject you, magkano ba yun? 10,000 ba yun? 20,000 ba yun? Wala namang value ang rejection. Diba? Pero minsan kasi pag na-reject ka ng 10 tao, feeling mo luging-lugi ka na. Diba sa totoo lang, rejections mean nothing. Ikaw ang nagbibigay ng meaning sa rejections. Diba? Pag na-reject ka ba ng 10 tao, does it mean you're not meant for Yusana? Wala namang meaning yun. Ikaw yung nagbigay ng meaning doon. Diba? So, again, talk to highly ambitious, highly driven, highly accomplished people. Secondly, before you talk to those kinds of people, prioritize mo na yung pamilya mo, kaibigan mo. Kung ayaw diwag, then move on to the next prospect. And ito I have good news for everybody. If you're new, we don't actually expect you to present the opportunity to people. So ang trabaho mo lang dito, gumawa ng prospect list at mag-schedule ng Zoom meeting. Bahala na yung team mo, yung upline mo to do the presentation for you. If the person wants to buy vitamins, yung mga vitamins mo dyan sa bahay, padala mo sa guest mo. Kung gusto nila mag-sign up, encode natin sa kaliwat kanan mo. Ang trabaho mo lang dito, mag-schedule ng maraming Zoom presentations. Ngayon, how do you do that? It's very simple. Kailangan mo lang mag-attend ng how to invite training. How to invite training. So after you come up with your prospect list, again, approach your coach or mentor. Mentor, coach, tapos na yung prospect list. Kailan yung how to invite training? Pero wag kang magtatanong please ng kailan yung how to invite training nung hindi ka pa tapos sa prospect list. Diba? You need to do it properly. So, lastly, no, and this is the most important out of the 5, you need to realize the very foundation of our business is attending trainings. So ngayon, why are trainings important? Again, kanina pa ulit-ulit, like 1,000,000 times ko sinasabi, I acknowledge na probably this is really not your line. Probably hindi ka magaling enough to be able to succeed in this business. But then again, we already came up with all the trainings that you need. Ngayon, yung trainings na yan, the more na matutunan mo ng mabilis yung business, the more na mag-i-income ka ng mabilis. Diba? The deeper you understand the business, the greater income you would get from this business. Diba? So meaning to say, if you feel na handicap mo yung business, hindi ka ganun kagaling, natural yan. Normal lang yan. Lahat kami, we started where you're starting now. Diba? And sa totoo lang, lahat naman talaga sa mundo naaaral. Even network marketing, even Usana. Diba? In our team also, this is very sacred. Every Monday, we really encourage you to attend this. I-mark nyo na yung calendar nyo. Bakit? Ano yung training natin every Monday? Every Monday, we invite one speaker na hindi niya background ang Usana, but just the same, umabot siya sa at least kalahating milyon isang buwan. In itong mga taong to, every Monday, they really share their story and ano yung tips nila for you. How could you succeed in the business considering you're the same as them? Diba? Na walang ka-background dito. And tomorrow, we actually invited a Ruby director from Cebu. And ito yung nakaka-impress. He's a summa cum laude. In less than 5 years after graduating, he became a senior auditor kaagad. But that's history. Right now, he's a Ruby director of Usana and he makes like 500,000 per month as a Ruby director. And amazingly, he's somebody also na hindi magaling, hindi marunong magbenta-benta, but he ended up succeeding in this business. Diba? So those 5 things, they're basic, but if you apply all of them, it's really impossible na hindi ka mag-momentum dito sa Usana. And ngayon, we're actually done with the training. And let me end this training the way I end all my trainings. And I always end my trainings sharing my favorite quote of all time. And itong quote na to, it goes like this. Sabi, everybody prays for cake. Everybody prays for cake. But when the good Lord sends them eggs, butter, sugar, flour, and milk to bake their cake, they get mad, they get frustrated, and they walk out of the kitchen. And ngayon, why do I like sharing that quote? Lalo na dito sa Usana. Maraming nag-join. The moment they realize for them to succeed in Usana would take effort, they would walk away. And sasabihin nila, ay, effort pala yan. Kailangan pala gagalingan mo dyan. Dapat pala committed ka dyan. Pero for me, that's really bad attitude. Kasi for the longest time, sa totoo lang, di ba lahat naman tayo, I'm sure, in our quiet moments, di ba you've been wishing and praying, wala na bang breakthrough? Paano ba mag-breakthrough? Ganito na lang ba ang buhay? Wala bang opportunity dyan? Wala bang ibang pwedeng gawin? And finally, di ba, meron ng opportunity in front of you, hindi mo pa siseryosohin. Di ba? And ako naniniwala ako, regardless of religion, di ba, si Lord naman, sa totoo lang, He really wants to bless you. He really wants to prosper you. Pero the way the Lord operates, hindi naman yung kung gusto mo ng pera, tatanungin niya, ano bang QR code mo? Sige, mag-money transfer ako sa'yo ngayon. Gaano ba kalaki yung bahay na gusto mo? Papatayuan kita bukas. Ano bang kotse gusto mo? Papa-deliver ko sa garahe mo bukas. That's not how the Lord operates. Diba? If you want to succeed and the Lord wants to bless you, what will the Lord do? The Lord will give you an opportunity. The Lord will give you an opportunity. And at the same time, apart from giving you an opportunity, He will give you the capacity to learn new things, the capacity to work hard towards your dream, and at the same time, the Lord will give you the right people to help you and guide you sa opportunity na pinasok mo. Diba, yung mga ibang tao sa labas, they're cracking their heads. Ano bang pwede kong gawin? Ano bang business pwede kong pasukin? Diba? Hindi nila alam anong gagawin. And ikaw, you're already here, you're already part of something, because in your mind, you're still not serious about this, you're still 50-50 about this, and that's actually very bad. You're taking for granted what you were blessed with. Diba? You were already given a business. Ngayon, you should really take this seriously. You should really give your commitment. You should really push and make things happen. And if you're new, kanina ko pa pinuulit-ulit, you should really be done with your PPPS on your first 2 weeks. 2 weeks lang yan. That's the dipstick measure if you're really serious about this business. Pag inabot ka ng 2 buwan dito, it just means one thing. You're tamad. Tamad. And kung tamad kang tao, trust me, you will never be successful in life. Diba? It's not the lack of opportunity. It's really your habit. It's really your mindset. So ngayon, kung tamad ka before, right now is the perfect time na ayos-ayusin yung ugali mo yan. Diba? So, again, you're already part of this opportunity. Take this seriously. Hit your PPPS in 2 weeks. That ends our training for today. Again, welcome to all the new distributors here in USANA. And I look forward to interacting with all of you guys sa succeeding trainings natin. So good morning everyone and happy Sunday. See you guys.